I hate my name.
The autumn wind is a pirate, blustering in from sea. With a rollicking song he sweeps along, swaggering boisterously. His face is weather-beaten. He wears a hooded sash, with a silver hat about his head, and a bristling black mustache. He growls as he storms the country, a villain big and bold. And the trees all shake and quiver and quake as he robs them of their gold. The autumn wind is a raider, pillaging just for fun. He'll knock you round and upside down and laugh when he's conquered and won.
Armchair.
Community Access Channel.
He's the armchair quarterback. He's full of beer and he's full of snacks. The all-American man.
Yeah, howdy, hi, and how the hell are you? Dougie! How are you this morning, sir?
I'm doing good. I'm doing all right.
I am doing fabulous because I woke up to this. If y'all missed it last night, if you didn't see it, if you were asleep, and many of us were, why wouldn't you be? Because the Colorado Buffalo had a 29-0 lead at halftime. The Colorado Buffaloes, the coach primes. Prime time. Which is kind of funny. Do you know that he complained about playing in prime time this week?
Uh-huh.
He complained about playing prime time, but his nickname's Prime. Because it was 7 o'clock local time. He said it was too late. Anyways, Coach Prime literally showed he is not a good college football coach. How are you this morning, brother? What's going on in your world?
What's going on in my world is just sitting there screaming at the TV screen. Braves, wake up and get some hits.
It's too late for that, buddy.
I know.
That ship
I feel like I've been doing that all week.
That ship has sailed. Let me tell you, so I'm sure you were asleep during the game last night, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to tell you how this broke down. Everybody's waking up going, what are you talking about? They were up 29-0. What are you talking about? This is how it went down because I actually rewatched the game this morning. I woke up to the news, woke up earlier than I normally do. Don't ask me why. I guess because I didn't have a game to do. And the short of it is, I said, man, I got to watch to see how this happened. How the hell did they choke? And then you can say whatever you want. You come up with any kind of, BS. Well, things happen, blah, blah, blah. They choked. And it was an absolute disaster from the get-go. So they're up 29-0. And the main thing so this is when I started. So I was watching the game before I went to bed last night. It was 14-0. At one point, the PA announcer at Colorado was playing music, playing sounds while Stanford had the ball and was trying to snap the ball. So they got threatened with an unsportsmanlike. So it's already starting off. All right, what kind of nonsense is he pulling today? Right. And so here we go into it. And this is how it went down for those of y'all who didn't watch the game. All right, you ready for this nonsense? First of all, one thing that I did not, well, you know what? I'll get into that in a second. I did not know who was on Coach Prime's staff, whether that or I forgot, because I felt like I would know this, but somehow I forgot. Either that or I never saw it. Okay. The first thing that happens up 29-0, they go for it, Doug, on the Stanford 46, up 29-0 in the second half. 4th and 2. What happens? They don't get it. They get sacked. In fact, they end up giving up a touchdown off of that. Now, Stanford goes for 2. They don't get it. It's 29-6. All right. You screwed up. Dumb coaching decision by Prime, but not the end of the world, right? Still 29-6. You got the game. They get the ball back. They sputter to about midfield. They punt it down to the Stanford 3-yard line. Some kid by the name of Ayamainer, who I'd never heard of before till last night, who had an absolute unbelievable game. More on his stats in a second. 97-yard touchdown catch. And he was gone. Let me tell you something. This kid's going to make it in the league. He is going to make it in the NFL. He has got that kind of separation. He has got one of those NFL type bodies, as they say, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, you're still up by a lot, Doug. The game's not in their hands by any stretch of the imagination. You still can win this game and save a lot of face. By the way, his name is full name is Alec Ayamainer. Did you hear about his stats last night?
Some of them, yeah. I mean, they were.
So here they are. You ain't got to lie, Craig. 294 yards on 3 touchdown catches, 13 receptions. I mean, you might want to start double teaming that guy. 294 yards. If you take away the 97-yard touchdown catch, he still had almost 200 yards. Unbelievable. All right. So, okay. At this point, I found out, because I put it in my notes, Charles Kelly is the defensive coordinator. I was like, oh, that Charles Kelly. The one that was the defensive coordinator for Florida State from 2014 to 2017. Remember, that was the year after the national championship. It's after that the Florida State, because after they won the national title, they started getting gutted. And what they did was they just promoted Kelly from special teams linebacker coach to the defense coordinator. He sucked the whole time he was there. So fans know about him. Florida State fans, dude. Tennessee fans know about him because he ended up going to Tennessee for 1 year, then Alabama for 3, doing things like he was a special teams coach, and then he was an assistant defensive coordinator at Alabama. So that gave Coach Prime the reason to hire him. I was like, oh my God, this is why their defense sucks. Okay. All starting to come together, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're up 29. It was 12 because they went for 2 twice. They didn't get it. You're up 29-12, Doug. You have the ball on the Stanford 46-yard line. It's about midway, getting deep into the third quarter. Don't you think on 4th and 4 you would punt it to make sure they have to go the full length of the field again, right? Time is on your side. You're up 17. They go for it again on the 46-yard line. You can't make this up. Not only does Shedeur Sanders not get, he backpedaled, by the way. He's an absolute disaster. Everyone that wants to make him a first-round pick, he backpedals, he gets scared, he chucks it into double coverage. He's not ready for the NFL. Not to mention, if you put any kind of a lid on him, he is frail as frail can be. 4th and 4, they go for it again. He backpedals to about 3 miles back, gets incomplete pass, but it gets better. Doug, they get a intentional grounding call, which puts the ball on the Colorado 33. So now you're up by 17, but you're only up by 17 now because the ball's on the 33. Colorado scores. It's 29-19. Then, boy, if this doesn't get better. It's 29-19. At one point, Stanford is inside the Colorado red zone. It is 4th and 7, and they get a chop block called on them. Colorado does. They don't get the first down. I'm sorry, it's 3rd and 7. Incomplete pass would have been 4th and 7. They don't get the first down. Dion takes the penalty. Makes it 4th and 22, but still at around the 30.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to forcing them to kick the field goal, you'd still be up by 7. This comes into play because on the next play on 3rd and 22, Colorado gets hit with a late penalty because their beloved Travis Hunter shoves a kid in the face mask at the end of a play. It was a retaliatory, like it was at the end of the play, it's kind of chippy, and the kid for Stanford just kind of gave a shove. Hunter should have let it go. Instead, he waited till he put his hands down, and then he shoved him in the face. Bam. That turns into a touchdown. It's not 29-26. They're choking. They get a touchdown. It's 36-26. Long story short, they choke it all the way. They get to the overtime where they score a touchdown. Stanford answers back. It's 43-43. You're like, well, how did it end on a field goal? What the hell happened? It was 3rd and goal. On the, I'd say the 3-4 yard line, somewhere in that neighborhood. They decide to drop back pass again. Once again, Shedeur Sanders backpedaling, throws into double, if not triple coverage, if you count the strong safety who was kind of hanging out down there too. Intercepted. Stanford gets the ball, kicks the field goal. Good night, Irene. Game over. Choke City. That's 3 losses now for Colorado. 3 losses. And everyone's going to, oh, well, you know, at least Hunter got 140 yards and 2 touchdowns. All that junk came in the first half. Shedeur Sanders, 400 yards, 5 touchdowns. All that junk came in the first half.
Yep. They
They were abysmal in the second half. They choked. And let's not pretend this is your older brother Stanford team. They were 1-4 going into the game.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is not John Elway's Stanford.
No, I actually thought about, this is not Andrew Luck's Stanford team, right?
Yeah.
I actually thought about taking Stanford in the points as I felt like Colorado wouldn't cover. I think it was 12.5, 13, somewhere in the neighborhood. I was like, I'm staying away from it. And I almost grabbed it live when it was 14-0. I was like, man, Colorado's not going to be able to, can't slow anybody down. They'll eventually give up points. Should I? And I ended up just going to bed. It kind of slipped my mind at the end. I was like, just leave it alone. But this Stanford team, other than Colorado, they beat Hawaii. That's the list. This is a team that lost to Southern Cal 56-10. They lost at home to Sacramento State. I didn't know Sacramento State had a football program. Evidently, Colorado doesn't have a football program.
Either, yeah.
They got blown out by Oregon 42-6. Now, I will say this. They've got some talented guys on the offensive end. And man, that receiver, he is going to be in the league. I'm curious about this guy now more than anything else. Let me see. What year is this guy? He's going to be a household name come draft day. Ayamainer is his last name. Alec Ayamainer, born in Medicine Hat. I don't even know where the hell that is, but anyways.
Oh, that's Medicine Hat. That's, oh my God, that's like that's Montana, I think.
No, Medicine Hat AB. I don't know
AB?
what Medicine Hat. I don't know what the hell it is, but it's not the United States. Anyways, makes you wonder how long he's been playing college football. I mean, I've been playing football in general.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look that up. Where in the hell is Medicine Hat AB? Alberta, Canada.
Canada. Okay.
I knew I'd heard of Medicine Hat before. For some reason, I thought it was Actually, I thought it was South, but it's Alberta, Canada. So he's Canadian. That makes a little more sense, considering the fact they got the CFL and everything up there. 6'2", man, he looks tall. So that just tells me right there how small Colorado is. 6'2", 210. That's a solid size receiver. But I'm telling you, he looked like a giant out there. He looked like Megatron running over these Colorado receivers. He's fast. Either that or Colorado's very slow. Here's the funny thing. He's only got 501 yards and 3 touchdowns for the season.
Yeah, I think he'll be a sleeper pick in the draft and just for the fact that he plays for a bad, I guess overall a bad Stanford team.
So he's a sophomore. He's a sophomore.
Oh, okay.
And they don't let you know if it's a true sophomore, so I don't know if he's a true sophomore, he won't be eligible for the draft till next 2025. But if he's like a redshirt sophomore, he can leave. Man, I'm telling you, if that dude's out there, this guy, he had separation speed. It was extremely impressive.
Yep.
Anyways, we had to talk about that. We had to talk about that game. That was insane what went down in Stanford. Unbelievable. And Ryan on WQEE did let me know it was Canada, so I appreciate that. But yeah, old medicine hat got you. You think about that, Coach Prime? Hard. You know what that did to me this morning? That put a pep in my step where I was like, I no longer care that the Braves spit the bit. I can turn the page. I can move on. I was waiting for kickoff of Florida State and a couple other games today, just kind of push it away. That gave me the biggest grin. I was like, what? Because how I woke up to it, I was getting ready this morning, and I was thumbing through social media, and this guy put a video out. I forget where I find him from, but anyways, he's always just putting these. I like him because he's low key. He's not like in your face kind of. He just kind of comes out. You can tell he probably put this thing up at 2 a.m. He goes, Colorado just absolutely imploded. I was like, wait, what? And I was like, I gotta watch this. What the hell just happened? He explains the whole thing. I was like, that's it. I'm rewatching the whole game. And I fast forward through most of the first half because I'd seen the first half. Second half, I watched it in its entirety, jumped on the treadmill. I was like, let's go. Let's watch it. And the best part about this, Mark Jones was the play-by-play guy who does nothing but tongue-based Dion. And for him to sit there with the crocodile tears rolling down his face, it was phenomenal. It was great. Anyways, we can move on. But folks that are just waking up, I mean, my God, if you missed the beginning of it and how you got there, you can rewind on our YouTube channel. But we got other things to get into, including the National Football League. Hey, I got one right finally, Doug.
Yeah, which one did you get right?
I told you your Raiders were going to get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You thought they were going to get the big L. I told you, man. I'm not a believer in Jordan Love, and he continues to unimpress.
Yeah, that was awful. I was just watching that. I'm like, wow. I thought he would be. I thought he played decent, considering the Raiders' defense is just completely beside itself right now. But that was just ugly to watch.
He's bad. He's really bad. Like, everyone overreacted to the beginning of his season because they won their first few games, right? Well, they won the first game against Chicago. Chicago was absolutely awful at the beginning of the season. And then they lost to Atlanta, but then turned around and beat the Saints. But everybody forgets that's the game that Derek Carr went down in. So there were 2-1, and one of the losses was, and the loss was a 1-point loss on the road to Atlanta. And they're like, all right, not bad. And then they got dismantled against Detroit. That 34-20 it was nowhere close to being that close.
No, it wasn't. Yeah, with that game, I think I was counting. I just never realized that Jordan Love was so bad that you can make the Raiders defense look that good. I mean, that was
He's
just
the Shedora Sanders of the National Football League.
exactly
He's overhyped.
way overhyped.
And honestly, what it really comes down to, it's Packer fans wanting him to be the next. Look, Packer fans, if you grew up as a Packer fan and you're in your early 40s, you don't know what it's like for your team to suck. You don't know what it's like to have a quarterback that's not one of the top quarterbacks in the league.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't.
No.
You went from Brett Favre, who played there forever, to Aaron Rodgers, who played there forever. But Pepperidge Farms remembers. I grew up going, the Packers, they stink. I remember when James Lofton was like the only bright spot on that entire team.
Yeah, I can remember when the Packers sucked. I remember as a kid, that's when the teachers gave you the package of NFL pencils. The ones that were always broken were the Green Bay ones on the floor. Nobody even wanted them. So yeah, I can remember when they were horrible.
I mean, they were absolutely awful. So this is just Packer fans having to deal with it. It's kind of funny across the board, though, because they were secretly laughing after that fourth play of the season for the Jets when Aaron Rodgers tears his Achilles, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, look at us. We've got Jordan Love. Oh, yeah, you got Jordan Love, all right.
Yeah, enjoy that. Enjoy that for the rest of the season.
And you can't help but be reminded Jordan Love is the reason why Aaron Rodgers wanted out. It's the whole reason from the jump, because he felt disrespected a couple years ago when they drafted him, when they should be trying to make moves to improve the team and go into the National Football League as a favorite going into the Super Bowl. Instead, I'm talking about last year, the year before, all of it. Instead, they draft a quarterback, and you're like, wait a minute, what are they doing? You don't draft a quarterback when you've got an elite quarterback unless you're trying to push him out the door.
Yeah, and that's exactly how he took it, too.
And even at that point, too, by the way, no one had Jordan Love as some great quarterback prospect. They're like, everyone felt like it was a reach when they drafted him to begin with. Came from Utah State. Let's not act like that's, the 1950s Oklahoma Sooners. Right?
Yeah.
Anyways.
Talking about taking a reach, I think they took him number 18 overall, if I remember, in that draft. I just remember the collective scream from Packers fans, especially online on YouTube, just weeping their eyes out that they took a quarterback like that.
In fact, so I see Brian in the chat. In fact, he'll love this, because one of the first person I texted was, I'm in a text thread with Sean and Steven.
Mm-hmm.
I said, Steven, don't worry about it, man. Nobody's going to be talking about that choke job that the Hurricanes did last weekend, because this is what happened with Dion. And forget it. Like, no one's going to talk about that. That would have been a focus this morning on most of your kickoff shows, and instead they're going to be going, oh, what happened to Dion? I guarantee it, nobody's going to point it at him. They're all going to say, well, he doesn't have a great roster. Blah, blah, blah. You're up 29-0 on Stanford at home. You win that game. You quit going forward on fourth down, because you know what he was treating it like? He was treating it like this is going to be an exhibition the rest of the way. This is just us getting practice in. He was going forward on fourth down on Stanford's 46 2 times in the second half, because he thought there was no way Stanford could come back and make him pay. And you should have seen my favorite parts of it was him slamming his headset piece, the mic piece going up and down. And he's saying absolutely nothing to his coaching. Yeah. He's just complaining because he's saying like 2 words, literally. And I mean, what are you getting out of a coach who's saying 2 words? This is bull junk. This is bull junk. That's it. That's all he was saying.
Yeah, he was reacting like a player, not a coach that needs.
He was reacting like a fan, is what he was doing.
Yeah,
his teams are terribly coached.
Yeah.
You would think the one area that his team would be well coached in is the secondary, and they were getting toasted. And here's the thing, when it was 29-0, there was this big debate going on back and forth with quarterback to use because the quarterbacks were playing terribly. Anyways, back to the National Football League real quick. The Raiders, they get the win. I mean, to me, that's a big win.
Yes, it is.
And they're going to, they're home against the Patriots this weekend?
Yep.
I think they get that win. I don't think the Patriots are any good.
No, the Patriots, I mean, all their pass coverage is all on the DL, so this is going to be a week where the Raiders are just going to feast. I mean, with Devontae Adams and Jacoby Myers, Garoppolo all of them probably might put up big numbers against that defense.
I think there's a lot of value in the Raiders only giving up 3 at home to the Patriots.
Yeah.
Mac Jones has looked like one of the, and I don't think it's all him. I think a lot of it's the coaching, but Mac Jones looks like one of the worst quarterbacks in all the NFL.
Yeah, this game is going to be the next kind of nail in the coffin for Belichick being dismissed from New England too. I think that era is.
You think they would fire him?
Coming to an end.
You think they would fire him after 6 Super Bowl wins? I don't think they will.
Now,
he may step down. I'm not going to argue that. He may step down, but I don't think they fire him.
As bad as I thought the Raiders sometimes look bad. This New England team is bad.
I know, but 6 Super Bowls.
I mean, maybe they give him the choice to step down on it, to quit on his own, but it's just not working anymore. I mean, Tom Brady's laughing every day of the week. Turned out the Patriot Ray was really Tom Brady.
Well, I guarantee he's not retiring.
Yeah.
He will go somewhere else because he desperately wants to beat Don Shula's record.
No, that's true.
So he'll go somewhere. Uh-oh, Doug.
Well, if they get rid of McJoyce and how much they love expatriate coaches and players, who knows? Belichick might take over the Raiders next year.
Who knows? That was exactly what I was going to offer up.
Yeah.
Belichick to the Raiders.
Yeah. We can have everybody there.
Wouldn't those be entertaining days? Belichick and Al Davis. It's not Al Davis.
Mark Davis.
Mark Davis.
That guy needs to listen too. He's got to be careful that he doesn't alienate his fan base. He was just at one of the recent games. Fans were coming up to the box and telling him, it's like, fix this team. And especially at home games, people will, put up signs like, oh, you suck, McJoyce, loser, get rid of the coach. I mean, he has security remove fans if he doesn't like reading the signs.
I don't know, to Mark Davis, they're probably telling him to fix his hair, let's be honest.
Oh, him.
Whatever the hell that is.
Him and that creepy girlfriend of his.
He's dating like a rockette or something, some kind of exotic dancer or whatever. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I look at her and she's always got this look
someone who sold her soul.
Yeah, she's always got this look of like disgusted surprise. Either she doesn't like what she sees on the field, or
she did. She sold her soul. She doesn't like what the reward was. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
That's it, man. Like, and I don't even know if you're, man, what does it take for you to sell your soul like that?
Evidently, free tickets to a Las Vegas Raiders game, I guess.
All right, we are going to take a quick break, step aside. When we come back, I'm going to give you the intro. The Brothers Areola should be jumping in. We'll be back in a flash.
It is the third Saturday in October, and the show is on one more time in Knoxville, Tennessee.
We are live in Tallahassee, the capital of the great state of Florida.
There's no law against scalping tickets in this part of the country, and premium prices have been paid. That's Desmond Howard going in motion. on 2nd down and 5 for Michigan, playing on real grass at Michigan Stadium. Throw it to the sideline. It is intercepted. Florida State was sitting and waiting for it, and Terrell Buckley has scored a touchdown. How do you do?
56-yarder. Does not have the leg. And Chris Davis takes it in the back of the end zone. He'll run it out to the 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 45. There goes Davis. Oh, my God. Davis is going to run it all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game. Auburn's going to win the football game.
All the band is out on the field. He's going to go into the end zone for the play. The most amazing, sensational, dramatic, heart-rending, exciting, thrilling finish in the history of college football. California.
It's thrown out. He's going to go deep. And I mean deep. And I mean touchdown, Florida. Tyree Cleveland in a miracle finish. A Hail Mary that's full of grace for the Gators.
Barkley trying to bounce it. And doesn't escape. Saquon Barkley in the clear. Still got it. Saquon Barkley all the way to the end zone. Electric. 79 yards.
It's a 31-30 game, and what does Nebraska do?
I have not seen the kicker come on the field, and I don't think he's coming on the field. Tom Osborne made this decision a long time ago. He's decided to go for 2 and take his shot at winning. I commend him for it.
This is for the national championship for Nebraska.
And if in 48 seconds they become the winner, they certainly deserve to be national champions.
Here come the Seminoles of Florida State, one of the great traditions in college football, and this becoming one of the nation's favorite rivalries. It's a battle for flagging rights and recruiting advantages in the state of Florida as the Gators come calling, and Chief Osceola ready to get it started. College football. A matchup from the state of Florida. It's the Gators against the Seminoles on an overcast day in Tallahassee.
Flutie flush, throws it down. Caught by Boston College. I don't believe it.
Today, we've got number 1 Seminoles against number 2 in the capital city of Tallahassee.
Why, any fool could see he made that first down when he dived. If Howard Cosell came in now, he'd never get out alive. 'Cause he's the armchair quarterback. He's full of beer and he's full of snacks. The all-American man.
Welcome back. And good morning to everybody on WQEE and your CBS affiliates, along with if you're joining us on YouTube. And I'm going to get it started sharing on all the other outlets as well. How are you, boys? How's it going?
I'm doing better than Deion Sanders, that's for sure. Good to see you, fellas, and beautiful Saturday full of college football with that Bull Junkie. With that, you know what's Bull Junkie? You blowing a 29-point lead to a 1-win Stanford. He's pathetic. Colorado's pathetic. Put him in a casket.
Gosh darn ridiculous.
Ridiculous. Overrated, overhyped, overfluffed. He's done. He's done. Bull Junkie. That's what I'm calling it. Bull Junkie.
Yeah, he's no bueno. How about you, Joey? How are you?
I'm not doing too bad. Not quite as intense on Colorado as they, but that being said, good day to have college football. It's a rainy day down here in Chicago, so all we're up here, I should say, looking forward to do is watching college football for the next 11 hours and take it all in. So got a pretty good slate today. I'm excited.
You're not excited about Colorado? Did you have did you have the Buffaloes minus the points or something? What's going on?
Oh, no. I mean, they hit the over this year already on wins, so it's not like they're, to me, a joke or a fraud. I mean, I don't like Deion Sanders, but Colorado was supposed to be like a 2 or 3 win team, and they're already hit that over. So I just don't have that same fraud level excitement as Tones.
Now, before I forget, I want to mention something. I cannot wait to see the creamsicle jerseys tomorrow. It's about damn time. What the hell, man?
It's been over 10 years now, and the only Buck that actually has gotten to wear one to this point is Levante David. So I'm very excited for a guy like Mike Evans to finally be able to wear a creamsicle. They're historic. We haven't seen them in over a decade, and I think Buck Stadium, Raymond James Stadium, it might look like the old sombrero for the first time in a while.
So weird they say that, because I swear I felt like I saw, I guess I just imagined in my head, Tom Brady in a creamsicle jersey. I don't know why I thought that.
You know what? A lot of whenever he practiced, he did wear he wore like an orange practice creamsicle jersey.
No, I'm thinking like the helmet. I don't know why I thought that. Maybe
probably some AI generated photo.
No, I mean, I feel like I'd watched, but I don't know why. But anyways, maybe it was when he first signed, they made videos or photos, like you said, and maybe that's what I got in my head. But I was like, I knew it'd been a while, and they hadn't done it often. I mean, I feel like they should do it once a year, you know? Obviously,
I agree.
A home game, and I like the fact that they're doing it against an old NFC, at the time, NFC North rival. Does that predate you, Tones? I can't remember when they went to those divisions.
I was like 5 or 6 when they switched to the NFC South. And yeah, our first time we ever wore the creamsicles, round 2, I call them, in 2009 was actually against the Packers for that same reason. So we could open up against a, former rival.
So they went to NFC South around mid 2000s or something?
Yeah, a little before that. I'd say right around the year 2000, right around the, hit of the century was when they did switch to the South, I would say.
Okay. So they were in the South by the time Brad Johnson won the Super Bowl with them. Okay.
Yep, they were just newbies down there. Everything was getting new because they did beat the Falcons, the Saints, and Panthers all twice that season.
Yeah, I remember now because the Titans and Jags, all that move, that they used to be AFC Central. They went to the South, and I guess it was all that same time period. I couldn't remember how long that had been. Doug was only 45 years old back then. Something like that.
Yeah, I went through every agonizing early years of those creamsicle jerseys. Creamsicle jerseys equal Leroy Selman.
I didn't know how much I liked them until they moved over to those terrible ones they wear now, and I'm like, ugh. Like, they try too hard to be the Raiders with those helmets. I'm like, go back to Bucko Bruce, man. Bucko Bruce had, if they want to change the colors, I get why the creamsicle might be a little non-threatening, right? I get that. But I grew up on it, so I guess I have more. In fact, I don't know why, but one of the things that I remember the most as a young kid, football fan, and I don't know why, but my parents had gone to a few games in Tampa Bay. This is late 70s. And they had a couple of just the classic foam seat cushions with Bucko Bruce over them. And they had them for years in their closet. And I used to, as a little kid, I would always pull them out. And for whatever reason, I really liked it. I wish the hell I would have kept the damn things. But, hindsight's 2020. But it would have been really cool to have them hanging up back here or something. But yeah, and then when they went to those, and I was starting to pull for them a little bit just because Derek Brooks and all the other Seminoles were building that Super Bowl team. But I'm like, man, these wannabe Raider helmets suck. Like, I really wish they would go back to. Is there any chance in hell? Because you're as about as tuned in as anyone into the world of the Buccaneers. Is there any way they would ever go back to that is our look, and that the ones they wear nowadays, that would be the throwback? Is there any way?
Yeah, I mean, for a team like the Bucks, they have switched uniforms quite a bit, right? They went to the alarm clock phase for a little bit. Those didn't pan out too well. Then they tried to go back to this Raiders look more so. I think the pinnacle of the creamsicles may get to the eventuality of the creamsicles twice a year and the away creamsicles, those white creamsicles with the orange helmets. I could see those working back into the picture as well. I don't know if they'll ever become the full-time uniforms again, but I could see about 4 games a year, 2 creamsicles, 2 white version of creamsicles, the away creamsicles. I could see Bucks football playing a quarter of their games at the creamsicles when it's all said and done.
We got to start the movement.
I would love if they did it full-time again. I love the creamsicles.
Yeah, one thing about the creamsicles, and one reason I always thought that they pulled away, they changed their uniforms, is one little negative thing about it is that the first owner, the Buccaneers are, if I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, they're the only time I've ever seen NFL history where a franchise was taken away from the owner for corrupted practices against their own against the NFL contract that they signed. So and Leroy Selman was involved in that too.
Case. I think you can put Daniel Snyder in that same type of category.
Yeah, that too. But it was soon after that that franchise was taken away from I forget his name, Hugh something. Hugh Culverhouse owned them.
Yeah.
And Culverhouse had the franchise taken away, and then later on, he and Selman went to prison for other notorious things.
Yep.
That was related to the team. So right after that, it was within a year. Correct me if I'm wrong.
It was in like 93. It was in 93 or 94 when Hugh got kicked to the curb, and then you're right, Doug. The Creamsicles left about a year or two after. So
yeah, because it was always because Leroy Selman being the one big player they had in the first years, it almost became associated with the corrupted nature. So
yeah,
I'm hoping now enough time, because I'd love to see them play at least a quarter or play the whole year in those creamsicle, a new style creamsicle uniform.
They used to make Throw Ray in the Bay T-shirts. That was the last coach under Hugh, was Ray Perkins, and he treated the team terrible. They had Throw Ray in the Bay T-shirts made. It was funny, but yeah, that was a time to forget for sure. For better or for worse.
But I'm just saying now, because now like we just got done talking, I'd love to see it again.
Mm-hmm. Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, but I'm saying I'd love to see them go back to it on a semi-permanent basis, like you said.
I agree.
Maybe home games or whatever, but yeah, I'd love to see it again. Yep.
I'm not a big fan of their pewter jerseys.
James Wilder.
Yeah, Wilder.
James Wilder.
Right. Doug Williams, the Selman brothers,
Mm-hmm. Leroy and Dewey Selman.
Mm-hmm. Ricky Bell.
Ricky Bell, yep. Great players, just you have an owner that's not using his NFL money to build a team, reminiscent of the guy who owns the Cardinals. You're gonna have bad teams. And that was the shame of it, because all those guys were great players, and to watch their efforts just go down the drain just because you have an owner rather build banks.
Yep.
I don't remember if it was 79 or 80, but they played in a wild card game against the Cowboys. And I remember that pretty vividly as a kid. It's like one of my first football memories.
Well,
it might have been a little later. Maybe it was early. Anyways, it was right around that late 70s, early 80s, and they had a wild card game against the
yeah, then they went on and they played in a fog bowl game where it was just, they came down to the only scoring was 3 field goals, and I think they won 9-6 or 9-3.
The fog bowl was Bears versus Eagles.
This game was as equally bad. You couldn't see the game. This one was.
You couldn't see the game because you were too groggy from all those beers you were drinking.
I was 10 years old at the time.
I know, 10 years old. The 1970s, you're probably drinking Schlitz.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was drinking. You're right.
Schlitz and Lucky Strikes at 10 years old.
Well, that's true.
Oh.
All right, let's get into the world of college football, as we got a lot of things going on here, and I'm going to get all the standings caught back up next week. Now that the Braves have given me a lot of time off, I'm gonna get everything caught back up. So worry about the standings on the Stupid Underdog and the locks and everything next week. But this week I was crying in my beer. So there you go.
Man, we've all been there, sadly, this year.
And
now.
we were given the curse by one Joey who mocked the Braves' loss Saturday night after he was 3 sheets to the wind right before he was about to take a big old girl home from the bar.
Hey, my season ended last week with the Irish. So even though you're in baseball season way further ahead, my season's over as well.
Yeah, but you're a Notre Dame fan. Your season's over usually around April.
We're in the playoff. We're in the playoff more than most
That's
teams.
That's honestly what it's starting to look like for the Atlanta Braves. It's over in April.
Yeah.
You're not going to do anything in freaking October.
Yeah, once the playoffs come and knocking anyway, we get our butts kicked in.
But don't
so
worry,
not looking.
okay. We don't have to make any trades. We're gonna have enough pitching. It's gonna be fine. We'll just stand pat. We'll be fine. With the same team that lost to the same team we're gonna face this very same year, we're gonna be fine.
Sure. And the baseball playoffs just became a lot more boring with the Final Four we have left, in my opinion. But
man,
that's a whole other note.
they're so obviously what they would have loved to have had is the Dodgers versus the Braves.
Mm-hmm.
They would have taken the Dodgers versus the Phillies. Oof, man, that National League one, that one's going to get some bad views. By the way, update. Most people know because they saw it in the chat, but we are going to do the ALCS series. We're going to start with Game 2. I'd already made plans for my wife to do some stuff tomorrow because the Braves were off no matter what. If there would have been a Game 5, it would have been today, and Game 1 of the NLCS was going to start on Monday. So we are going to bring the ALCS to you. And I just, we talked about it. I talked with some of the affiliates that, carry us every game, and there's just much more interest in Texas versus Houston. So that's the one we're going to roll with it. And then we will bring in the World Series all here on Braves Country Radio.
Hasn't it been 2 years in a row now we've watched all the number one seeds in baseball get knocked out?
I don't know, but I hope everyone's ready for a lot of very generic commercials during the breaks because I'm not playing Atlanta Braves tomahawk chops during an Astros Rangers series, and I don't have time to manufacture them. So it's going to be the same junk over and over again. Probably just be playing music or something in the break. I'm not going to submit people to that. So, and another reason why we didn't go with Phillies too, it's just become a consensus when everyone, content creators throughout Braves country, on all of them, they've got some of the nastiest fan base that I've ever seen. And I really don't want to be around them if I don't have to be. So,
and to be honest with you, I thought it was kind of cool at first with some of the Bryce Harper stuff. I'm kind of already over it. It would be hilarious if the Diamondbacks just went in there and stumped
would it not be great? You know what? It'd be great for the Diamondbacks to win the whole damn thing.
True.
To really make a mockery of the entire format.
Correct.
But I would, and just to piss off Major League Baseball, because they would have to make some changes on reseeding. I would love to see the Diamondbacks. What's the worst they could get? Diamondbacks Rangers, probably, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Because the Astros still have that "we're the champ" moniker.
Correct.
People might tune in for that. But Astros Rangers, that could be the worst rated World Series, and that would be fun.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. Diamondbacks, I'm hoping they make it now. I'm hoping they blow the lid off the thing. I mean, they've been fun to watch this postseason.
The only thing that makes me not want to pull for the Rangers, saw a report this morning. Max Scherzer says he's good to go for the ALCS. I hate that puke.
So he's going to come out in the first inning.
If it goes to a Game 7 and it's Astros, Rangers, Verlander versus Scherzer, I'm probably pulling for Verlander, man. I can't help it. I can't stand that schmuck.
Well, that's because Scherzer's a Mets legend, I mean, they gave him a video tribute for his, 17 games he pitched in New York?
Did they give him a video tribute?
Yep, they gave him a tribute.
Yeah.
It was pathetic. It was pathetic.
Yeah, that was pretty much as sad can be.
Well, yeah, because they're still paying $70 million for him the next 2 years. They have to get the bang for their buck.
Half the video was spring training content.
Clown show.
Oh man!
If it weren't for Bruce Bochy, they'd be in a world of hurt. World of hurt.
Well, if you're a Mets fan for a long time, you know you're gonna lose some and lose some, and you'll probably lose some. Very, very little win some in their history. Philly too, man. I'm telling you right now. So get this out in the open. Would they quit talking about like they're the 27 Yankees or they're like some kind of baseball royalty? You would think that you're playing Newt Rockney's Notre Dame squad. You would think that you were up against the 60s Celtics. You've won 2 World Series in 140 years, 8 pennants in 140 years. Only a few regions as well.
Come on, they're big red machine like.
I mean, it's a clown show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm tired of it.
Dominant. And it's not like recency bias, recency history. Because think about it. They've won one damn World Series. Unless you'd have to be well over the age of 40 to remember 2 World Series championships in Philadelphia.
That's why it'd be so funny if they just lost after. I feel like they think they already won the World Series by beating the Braves. So it would just be funny as hell.
It would be really damn funny if they got swept. What I would love to know is if Arizona sweeps their way through the NLCS and the World Series. And Major League Baseball goes, man, what have we done?
Oh, don't worry. Manfred said it was just a stupid piece of metal anyways or something, right?
Exactly. We play for pennants and division championships in Atlanta, not some stupid piece of tin.
Being a Cubs fan ain't so bad then. Cheers to that. Let's do it.
Oh, man.
There was one really nice thing said by a Philly fan last night. I mean, Thursday night. So they're not all bad, but as a collective, I think they're worse than Mets fans because at least most Mets fans, though they can be nasty, they know that they're just not a good franchise historically, so they're very grateful when they win. Philadelphia, man, they think.
I mean, they booed Santa Claus. Yeah, they're the worst. They're terrible.
They're awful. They've had like 2 pockets where they've been good in my lifetime because I don't even remember Tim McGraw's dad winning a World Series. I started watching baseball like literally right after that. 81 is the first year I kind of remember. 82 is my first year of like really remember it. So I don't even remember Tim McGraw's dad up there beating the Royals. And first of all, if you beat the Royals in the World Series, that doesn't even count. I mean, come on. Royals.
Yeah.
Really?
Low measuring stick.
That should have an asterisk on itself.
Throw it in the COVID era.
Yeah, exactly.
Mickey Mouse is going to give you the trophy.
Dodgers. What a great to be a Dodger fan.
They're Mickey Mouse
fan base. How great we are, yeah. 1988, buddy. I'm not giving you 2020. 88 is the last time you won it all. All right, let's get into college football.
Where do we go?
I will tell you this. I'm looking at my screen right now, and the weather for just about every Big Ten home game today is terrible. It's going to be raining, going to be chilly. Awful.
You're saying take the under.
And yeah, I mean, it's spanning.
What
it
about
looks
the Notre
like
Dame game tonight in Indiana. Is that going to be bad weather?
I would imagine so because they're right cadoodled in the middle of all the Big Ten.
Don't imagine. Stick your head out the window.
It's 40. It's going to be 49 degrees with rain. So yeah, it's not.
Yeah, I see rain dripping from my deck right now. So
40
yes,
something degrees and rain.
Yeah.
You see any wind?
Right now it says 12 miles an hour.
All right, well, that's not bad, but
I mean that over under is so high though that wow, it might be a good opportunity to pounce.
By the way, heads up. We'll be going to commercial and leaving around 11:55 today. Florida State's kicking off at noon, and I just don't have enough time to go get my cooler and go. I'm watching the game today. I'm not. I got to get the dogs out.
Hey, at least there's the bright side for you. Florida State, I mean, they're in that middle of the playoff hunt. At least that's exciting going down the stretch. I
know, but I don't have any real belief that they can win it. You know, they might very well get in the playoffs, but they also might get dismantled by Georgia by 5 touchdowns. You know,
hey, all you got to do is get in. The field isn't as strong as usual.
Well, it'll just be fun to be a fan of a team that got in.
Correct,
but
Georgia's not Georgia.
Next year, when you're talking about the 12-team playoffs, it'll be really interesting to see what it takes to go through the gauntlet, right?
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, it could be a little more wide open because of injuries, just weirdness, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's people are underestimating how good Georgia is just because they've started off slow. They're still just loaded.
No doubt.
And I don't think we're the team that can knock them off. Honestly, the team – if you gave me 3 teams that could actually knock them off, they're probably all in the Big Ten.
I would agree with that. I mean, this is a
year
year
to see how they play against each other. But Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, however you want to rank them, depending on how that falls, I'd be interested to see how they play against Georgia.
Yeah, I remember at the year's beginning, we were saying if it's ever for the Big Ten, it's going to be now because, there are other opportunities, and you still got Georgia and Florida State. And I like Washington as well this year a lot, but no great teams, right? Georgia's probably the best of the best, but
I'm very interested in that Oregon-Washington game.
Yes.
And I think it's an absolute just ridiculous that it's not the night game.
Yeah, because their time it's like 12:30.
Exactly.
So it's like, what the heck?
That should be the game. And you want to get people to watch. Okay, let's say you're sitting there at ABC and you're like, how do we get folks to not watch the Southern Cal Notre Dame game, it's just automatically because of brand. Not to mention the fact Southern Cal's in the top 10. Yeah. But because of brand, their eyes are going to be drawn over there. Dude, Miami, North Carolina is not it.
Especially after what happened last week with Miami.
Yeah, like all the luster's off of that. That's been a 3:30 kickoff. Fine, it's a good meat and potatoes game. I still think Miami has a very good chance of winning that game.
I do too.
That should not be. Oregon, Washington should be the game.
Without question.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, Bo Nix and Michael Penix have been incredible.
Doug, we got to run to break here in a second. What is your stupid underdog and your lock, sir?
Stupid underdog is I'm taking A&M over Tennessee. And my lock is in the Notre Dame game, take the under. Like Joey was just talking about.
Yeah, it's massively high if I can get the
number.
It's
way too high. Especially with those weather conditions, I think it's going to be
60.5.
Yeah, that's really? way too high.
Well, you know what that's got to do? It's got to do with the fact that no one believes, and for rightfully so, nobody believes in Southern Cal's defense.
Not at all.
No, after they gave up 41 to Arizona last week, and it took 3 overtimes for them to win.
You like A&M? Well, they're getting 3.
Yeah, A&M. I think it's a 3 or 3.5 spread on that.
It's 3.
3.
That's a very interesting game. We'll get in more into that. What is your one big thing that's going to happen today, sir, as you walk us off?
One big thing going to happen today is all I'm saying is Notre Dame's going to win today.
Hey,
that's my one big thing. Go Notre Dame. I think you can win.
All right, brother. We will see you next time, and we will be back in a flash here on what is this? I saw that clown on.
This is for Doug. His next head coach.
Oh, God.
They've brought him back to ESPN. He was on PTI the other day.
Really?
Like, oh, look who's sliding into the PTI room. They didn't address anything about him being like a terrible coach or anything like that. They go, "Hey, so what's your thoughts on?" And then just some random junk, whatever they're talking about. I was like, "Yeah, because that's what we want. That's what we want, right?" It'd be like bringing Deion Sanders on this morning and asking him about his career at Florida State. No. Let's talk about that Stanford game. You hack. All right, we'll be back in a flash. Keep it locked in here on Braves Country Radio. The Armchair Quarterback Show, Saturday mornings. Let's get it.
It's the best in sports and entertainment, and get locked in and locked down with Rhino Radio Penitentiary, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. with your host, me, Ryan O'Neal, each and every morning, right here with the best in sports and entertainment, all the way from professional sports to college sports to River Dragons hockey and everything in between, including some of the very best local and national guests. It's the Rhino Radio Penitentiary, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Monday through Fridays, right here on 99.1 FM WQEE.
Are you looking for a reliable dental practice that not only cares about your teeth, but is friendly to work with? How about one that offers great deals and new patient promotions? Well, your search is over. Most Valuable Smiles in downtown Eatonton, Georgia is committed to giving you the biggest and brightest smile. Right now, get a $99 new patient special, including x-rays and exam. Maybe you're looking for veneers. Most Valuable Smiles Veneer Special includes 1 free veneer with every 5 purchased. Or get that bright white smile you've always wanted by taking advantage of an exclusive $100 off Zoom whitening treatment when you book today. And don't forget that 2022 is almost over. That means most insurance policies will reset by the new year, and to avoid losing that extra money, you need to use it or lose it. Book an appointment today with Most Valuable Smiles in downtown Eatonton to lock in these exclusive deals. Call 706-623-0318 or visit mostvaluablesmiles.com.
Hey, Braves Country! Braves Country HD is bringing you Braves Country Baseball. Braves Country comes to you every Tuesday night and Friday night, and 2 bonus games every week. Hi, I'm Mac Magee, and we'll be bringing you play-by-play, pitch-by-pitch of your Atlanta Braves. It's free to listen. Please like and subscribe. YouTube.com/@BravesCountry. Braves Country Baseball for the fans, by the fans.
Here's good news. There's still a need for hundreds of thousands of cybersecurity professionals in the U.S. right now. And My Computer Career is training people to help meet the demand. No IT experience? No problem. Take the free career evaluation today. Start your new life as an IT pro in as little as 4 months. Grants covering up to 53% of the cost are available to those who qualify. It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
Enjoy sun-drenched days, epic stays, and plenty of room to roam in Greater Fort Lauderdale. Our hotels, attractions, and restaurants have taken the Visit Lauderdale's Safe and Clean pledge, so you can relax and explore with confidence. When you're ready for that well-deserved staycation, our 23 miles of golden beaches await. Find wide-open spaces to hike, bike, kayak, and paddleboard. Visit your favorite attractions, then dine out in style in dining rooms or al fresco on waterfront patios. Learn more at sunny.org.
Braves Country today. We're talking Southern sports. We go live 3 to 5 weekdays right here on WQEE. Braves Country today. Southern sports talk with the voice of Braves Country baseball, Mac Magee. Joined every day from sports analysts from all over Braves Country, talking college football, the NFL, Major League Baseball, and what's trending in the world of sports. Braves Country today. We go live 3 to 5 weekdays right here on WQEE.
I'll have a burger the size of my head, please. And then if you could just deep fry that.
I'd like to invade and murder the entire world for spices and use none of them. Armchair.
Well, what do you know? It's halftime. Where's your bathroom? Tell me, please. Don't go outside because the neighbor's dog's biting everything you see. He's the armchair quarterback. He's full of
Welcome back.
Snacks, the all-American man.
And joining us is Mr. Bobby the Kid. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm looking forward to a weekend of football. I'm excited for it.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah. My teams aren't too good, but there's going to be good matchups on, so I'm happy regardless.
Do you get the W today?
Let's see. I'm going to be honest. I don't even know who we're playing.
South Carolina, what?
South Carolina. I haven't even been keeping up with it.
Oh my God!
I haven't even been keeping up with who's Florida's playing. I've been looking at the top 25 matchups. No, I don't think we do.
Fraud alert!
I don't think we do. No.
God,
South Carolina disappointed me last week, but I still don't think we're good enough to beat them. Not after what I saw against Kentucky.
All right, we're putting you.
I've checked out with Florida.
Yeah, you get the small screen for that.
I've checked out with Florida.
That's ridiculous. I don't know who we're playing.
I remember seeing it yesterday. It left my mind. I had to go refresh myself.
Honesty is the best policy, they say.
No, it's not. Deny.
Well, in certain categories of life, I agree with you.
How are we ever going to get you elected to office, Joey, if you're going to sit there and tell the truth all the damn time?
Well, you know I don't. Look at my Saturdays.
I know you don't. I know you did some lies last Saturday night. No, baby. Those pants don't make you look ginormous.
Wake up. What did I lay next to? This is a size 44 waist.
My God. I'm pretty sure whatever I took home is identifying. What is going on here?
The wig fell off halfway through the fun.
Ride the waves in, as they say.
Hands up.
Yeah. You better hold on. You better not have hands up. You better hold on.
Right in the bowl.
Literally.
Whoop.
Batteries not included.
Hey, man. If you can make it 8 seconds, you are our personal hero.
Take the under.
Don't go under. Stay on top.
How did we?
All right, let's clean it up. Let's clean it up.
Yeah, this is a family-friendly show.
Family-friendly show. Everyone show their hands.
Up.
Bobby's not showing his hands.
Pulling a Mitch McConnell.
Who are we playing? My God. We got to find you a new team, man, if you're going to give up like this.
Look, I saw it yesterday. I was thinking about that game yesterday. It just left my mind for a second. But, no, I don't think we're going to beat South Carolina. And, frankly, South Carolina, they've been a disappointment themselves this season. I had higher hopes for them. I thought they'd be ranked by this point in the season, but no. And Florida, what we saw last week against Kentucky, that was just downright embarrassing. So,
Joey, do you still have the weather up? What's it like in South Carolina? Because that could play a big factor. So it's a 3:30 kickoff. Is that the CBS?
It's 65 degrees with no signs of rain right now. 30% chance.
Okay. That kind of plays into South Carolina's hands, but not. They're such similar teams. They're teams that are going to want to. They're going to want to control the ball.
Mm-hmm.
They have solid quarterback play. Or any of those guys winning the Heisman? No, but they're solid. I think the big question from my standpoint, outsider looking in, is who is going to be able to control the line of scrimmage, and who doesn't make the big mistakes.
Mm.
I think that line's about right. It's about a pick 'em.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'd say Florida's got the better roster. That doesn't always win because I don't think it's that much better, right? They're not just going to be able to just show up. Let's get a prediction on that Florida game before Bobby forgets who they're playing again. Let's jump to it. Bobby, give me your prediction.
I'm going to say South Carolina getting out of there with a very close win. I'm going to say 27-24.
You got South Carolina winning?
Yeah, I'm not confident in Florida at all. I trust Mertz to not make those big mistakes like you were talking about. He's been smart with football this year.
I'm doing that for Tony.
Where's Bobby?
He's there in the corner.
Look, you want me to be honest or do you want me to be biased? If I'm being biased, I'll say Florida will win, but I'm not confident in them right now.
I shrunk his head like Beetlejuice.
Where's Waldo? We need one of the red and white shirts. Jeez, that screen can't. Holy God.
All right. I'll fix it. Okay.
I'm back.
He's back, baby. He's back.
Looks like a little speck in that crowd up there in the background.
I bet your boy Carr's having himself a year right now. Cowboys getting blown out. The Gators not doing what I'm sure he thought they were going to do.
Titans aren't any better either. Wow.
Is he a Titan fan now?
Yeah, he just by association.
It just depends on what happened the week before. It was funny, man. He sent me one text probably in the last 2 or 3 months. I think I could be wrong. And it was about the Orioles getting swept. It was like late in the game 3, and I'm like, dude, man, that's a good Orioles team, man. Young team. Like what we're finding out about these baseball playoffs is that it's random. You got to get hot. And that's the way it's going to be. It's a random tournament. It's not like it used to be years ago where only the best teams made it, and it really can't. And it was a 7-game series, and it came down to a grind. These are early parts of the playoffs. But anyways, the point is he was down on his team like, dude, this is a great time to be an Oriole fan. You got to stick your chest out, man. Mm-hmm. Things are pointing up for the Orioles.
He's an Orioles fan?
Yeah, something random. I forget
How
why.
did that happen?
I forget why.
I can't talk, but
he explained it to me one time. It was I feel like it had something to do with his parents. I don't remember, but for some reason it was a random because I was like, I got onto him one time. I was like, wait a minute. Florida Gators, Dallas Cowboys, Baltimore Orioles. Will you pick a damn region and just pick with it? What the hell's going on? Boston Celtics. And he was all over the board. I was like none of these teams match. Everyone usually has that one random team they pull for, but normally you've got a reason. He was all over the damn board.
Mm-hmm. Just like me.
Just like you.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I guess that's why you're BFFs. So you got South Carolina winning. Tones, what say you?
Last time I heavily invested into the Gators, it was terrible. It was nasty. It was downright embarrassing. They went into Kentucky, and they quite frankly never got off the bus that day. And right when you count down, the Gators are right back in it. I don't trust Spencer Rattler. I think he's got a couple turnovers in him today. Give me Florida. Give me the Gators. Going on the road. Getting the 2.5 points. Upsetting South Carolina. I got Gators coming out on top. Bobby might not, but I do. I got them winning 28-25. Let's roll Gators.
I hate that we have to call us beating a 2-3 South Carolina team an upset.
You got to fight fire with fire, buddy. You got to.
It's really random that I'm sitting on this other site and Florida's the favorite. So what the hell is going on here?
I'm seeing South Carolina as a 1-point favorite on ESPN.
And now it went down to 1. So some money's coming in on Florida is what's going on.
Yeah.
Well, they're listening to me, I guess. I'm hyping up the Florida Gator Nation, Tony Aguilini went to the bank right after he heard
Joey, what's your score?
I'm going to go Florida in a close one. I mean, this is just a disappointing game in general, but I'll go Florida 24, South Carolina 20.
Man, I feel like I should take Florida. If it was in Gainesville, I would definitely take Florida.
Yeah.
They're just a different team on the road, mainly because they're playing good teams on the road. Let's be honest. Let's be honest what's going on. They're playing Tennessee's poverty passing game at home, and they're playing Kentucky's running game and Utah's running game on the road. Mm-hmm. I'm going to take South Carolina, but I really feel like it's going to come down to the turnover. It's a coin toss game. Give me South Carolina winning 6-4. The good old fashioned slobber knocker. If it was raining, I would give it a better chance of a touchdown being scored.
Pound the under.
That's what Joey does on Friday nights.
Zinga.
Wearing his Wander Franco jersey.
No, come on.
Here we go. There you go. Gloves off.
Oh, man, that is bad.
Let's go around a little bit more in the SEC. Arkansas is getting 19.5 points at Alabama. Anyone trusting Arkansas?
I got them covered, and I think they've stayed in the arena a couple of their past games. They haven't played great this year, but neither is Alabama, and 19.5 is a lot of points. I think they end up backdoor covering or just barely covering, but I do think Arkansas survives enough to cover.
Bobby, what say you?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Arkansas covering. I just don't see Alabama putting up enough points. I don't think it'll be competitive at all. But Alabama hasn't really been putting up too many crazy amount of points this season, except for when they played Mississippi State. Other than that, it's been pretty reasonable, so I don't see them winning by more than 19.5.
Joey?
I'm going to go the opposite here. I think this is Alabama's game at home where they come out and, maybe they are finally going to start to hit this stride, right? Usually they could falter off, but I think they finally got some things going together. I think they win big. I'm going to go 35-13 Alabama.
I just don't think Arkansas is a very good team. No. I would not touch this.
Good stay
honestly,
away.
But I feel like Alabama should cover the spread. Give me Alabama to win this in just a methodical. I'm going to put it right at it. Let's say 31-10. Probably like the under, but honestly, this is one of my least favorite games of the day.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, maybe 3 years ago it would have been one of the best things to watch of the day, but right now,
I don't know, man. Arkansas burned me. I took Arkansas against Georgia. I don't remember if it was last year or the year before. And before I could crack open my first beer and open a bag of chips, the game was over.
28-0.
Yes, it was.
My problem is if Arkansas scores just as much as like 10 points, that means Alabama's going to go up there and put 30 to cover, and they just haven't been scoring crazy amount of points like that all season.
I don't trust Arkansas, and I feel like that Alabama's offense is going to get continuously better, and it just seems like they're still going to end up in that SEC title game. I don't know who the hell's going to beat. What's that?
I don't doubt that.
I mean, who's going to beat them out, right?
Yeah.
SEC ain't all that in a bag of chips so far this season is what we're accustomed to either.
Yeah. LSU's right behind them, and they haven't been playing too good.
Yeah, I wish they should have lost last week. Gosh, that was a good game against Missouri.
Yeah, I gotta say Arkansas is gonna have to prove something to me before I buy into them ever again.
It's not as much as me buying into Arkansas, it's just me not trusting Alabama to go out there and score enough. That's my concern.
I just think they're gonna methodically beat them.
That's fair.
Right, like it could be like 14-0 at half or 14-7, but then in that third quarter, maybe just slowly start to leak away. But I agree. I mean, Alabama's not all of that this season. At the same time, I got no reason to put faith in Arkansas. So at the end of the day, this probably is a stay-away game. But we're here to make picks, not beat around the bush. So that's why I'm going Bama in that one.
All right. Much more entertaining game, interesting game, pivotal game for these two teams. Texas A&M, Tennessee. It's a 3-point spread. It's in Knoxville. Texas A&M's coming off the tough loss against Alabama. Tennessee hasn't looked great this year, but a home win against A&M would be huge. Bobby, I'll start with you.
I'm gonna go with Tennessee winning, and I think they'll cover. I think they'll get more than the 3-point win in this one. I trust them more at home. They've looked better at home, and I just don't trust A&M enough, and I think Tennessee wins today. Sets up a big matchup next week against Alabama.
Joey?
I'm going to agree and go with the Volunteers as well. I think it's a big day for Joe Milton III in that offense. I really think, they're not looking ahead. They can't afford to, right? They got to win every game left on their schedule to get to where they want to be. So I'm going to go Tennessee 30, Texas A&M 21.
Tones, what you got?
I'm going to ride the opposite here. I'm going with A&M, and I think they win outright in this game, actually. Tennessee, although 4-1, hasn't really impressed me this year. They haven't really gotten a big win yet to date this season. So I think that A&M goes in there, plays a very good program of football after, playing Alabama very tough last week, and I think A&M gets themselves a big straight-up win on the road.
I think Tennessee finds a way. I don't think it's going to be an easy win. Plus, I'll tell you what, I think that over is too high. Really, 54.5. I feel like this is going to be more of a grind for both teams. A&M is going to come in beat up after that Alabama game. Give me Tennessee to win 22-17. Just one of those games that they're going to find a way to win because it's at home. But I just, for me, college football is all about emotions. You're talking about 18, 19, 20-year-old kids. And it's hard for me to back a team that just played Alabama that is now going on the road. Especially when they lost. And their season, so they're 4-2, they're 2-1. It's not like they're a team that goes, well, we get it back together, we can still make the playoffs. This is now them just trying to play out the rest of the season. And I mean, Knoxville, for folks who've never been to a game in Knoxville, dude, that place is deafening.
Yeah. Especially the last couple of years.
I can't wait for that 12-game playoff when more of these teams get a chance. It's going to be so entertaining in the following seasons.
I think this year would have been incredible if we got that 12-team playoff with all the parity.
Georgia Vanderbilt, 32.5-point spread. Does anyone give Vanderbilt a prayer of covering the spread?
Not after what I saw last week against Kentucky. I was like, this isn't the Georgia that runs up the score on teams like we've seen in the last couple of years, but they have seemed to hit their stride, especially last week. They dominated Kentucky. I think they'll roll through Vanderbilt too today.
The only thing in this one for me with Georgia would be, they don't really have a look-ahead game on their schedule. They are at Florida and next week. That's always a special game, Georgia-Florida. That's always a big-time one, but nothing too absurd, right? I could see Vanderbilt covering maybe if Georgia had a really hard game next week, but I can't put my money on Vanderbilt covering any sort of spread at this point.
Yeah. And there's a bye week between now and the Florida game, so they'll have plenty of time to prepare for Florida, not that they have to do that too much. So
exactly. Well, hey, don't sell Florida short, man. Hang in there.
I'm a known pessimist when it comes to my teams. It's just hard to be too confident in this Florida team, especially what I saw last week. That looked like the Florida I was expecting to see this season.
Y'all want to hear a stat?
Hit it.
May not be aware of. Georgia Vanderbilt.
Mm-hmm.
Vanderbilt has not scored a touchdown in 5 years in that series.
They call that bad. That's bad.
That's bad. Okay. That's what we call bad. They've not scored a touchdown. I think I'm pounding this game.
Georgia 56-3.
I mean, something like that. What's the total points for Vanderbilt? 10.5 points. How are they getting there? Four field goals.
Their long snapper trips over the end zone.
10.5 points. Like normally I like find these small amounts. I go, all right, let's go. I just need a turnover here or there. Let's fall in backwards into one. Georgia's going to pound the hell out of this team.
Mm-hmm. They should.
And their next big, what do you call it? Test is not next week. It's 2 weeks against Florida. So it's not like you don't even have what I like to call looky-loo going on here, right? You're not looking ahead.
They're looking ahead to the bye week. They want to get a big win today and then relapse.
Yeah, that makes me think they'll just step right on their dang throat and put up 60. So I'm not touching. Unless Jay Cutler goes back to Vanderbilt on a last-minute flight today to give them some offense, this game is done.
I'll tell you one of my favorite things to do on a teaser, just so you're safe about it. Michigan at home against Indiana. They've been trash. Georgia in Vanderbilt, it's a home away from home. They've been trash.
Yeah.
I like putting those two together. Little teaser action.
A little sugar.
If you want to up the ante, you could tease Penn State into that as well.
Well, let's not get crazy and do all what Penn State. Where the hell?
They are playing UMass, so
exactly.
Well, I know, but if I do a teaser, I like to keep it to two teams. I don't like to get all crazy and
UMass in week 7. That's something.
Because then I'll get some backdoor cover, and you're like, son of a gun.
UMass gets a punt return with nothing to go on the clock.
That's going to be one of my favorite teasers today is Michigan and Georgia. Although I do think Penn State probably will cover the spread because UMass is just abysmal.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, James Franklin pays attention to the point spread. When you have a coach that pays attention to the point spread, you want to take that coach. If it wasn't, he wouldn't be running no huddle, shotgun formation up 23. Like, what's going on there?
Yeah, I think
he's got a gambling problem. He doesn't have a gambling problem because he's winning, he's covering, but he might be involved somehow.
Yeah, that's one interesting thing with Penn State. I think I said it on a couple weeks back show. Even if they're up big to end the game, they put their backups in, but they operate as normal. There's no taking the foot off the gas for them. Backups or starters, they're just trying to score.
They're not even operating as normal, man. They're calling flea flickers. They're spiking the ball. They're calling timeouts on the other team's offense and get the ball back.
They're protecting James Franklin's pockets is what they're doing.
Well, that was like Prime going for 2 last night. I think Colorado was up 14 or 20 at the time, and Stanford hasn't had a point yet. And Dion went for 2. It's like, what the heck are you doing?
Yeah, he went for a lot of things that didn't work out for him last night.
Bull junkie.
Andrew Luck was there. It was good to see Neckbeard.
I think he was playing chess on the halftime show.
He's a checkers guy.
Let me see. SEC. Auburn, LSU, Louisiana, Kentucky. Which one do y'all like the most right there?
I like Missouri-Kentucky game if I had to pick one out of this. Just because, look, both teams are coming off of tough losses, right? Kentucky obviously played Georgia. Missouri had a heartbreaking home loss against LSU. To me, if one of these two teams, again, neither will make the playoff, but if one of these two teams want to continue to really success on their season, I think today is a big statement game. I'll go with Kentucky getting this one since they are at home, but that's the game I'm intrigued by.
I agree with that. I think Missouri-Kentucky is a superior game here for what Joey said. Both still have a chance at the playoffs. And to me, Missouri, after losing a close one to LSU last week, they're still right around the 25th ranked team. So that's pretty much two bottom-ranked teams right there. I go with that one as a superior. But I got Missouri walking away with this one in a tight one. I think it's only a 1 to 2 point win. Yeah,
I like that matchup a lot. I'm with both of you guys, Missouri-Kentucky being the better one. Kentucky, they've got Ray Davis and company on offense, and then Missouri has Luther Burden, who's been lighting it up. That should be a fun game to watch. I got Kentucky hanging on, but I think it will be a very close game.
I like Auburn in the points.
I'm with you there.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Auburn's defense is good enough to hang around. LSU's coming off a couple of exhausting games. They're finally home. Normally that spells big trouble in Little China because, oh, well, they're at home, man. Death Valley, look out. They're going to blow it. No, man. I think the balloon, the air's going to be out of the balloon, and they'll probably hold on and win. But Auburn's defense, I think, is just good enough to where they're going to be able to move the ball on LSU. LSU does not have a good enough defense covering 12.
Not at all.
Defense is horrible.
12 points or more. So I really like that Auburn game. That's one of my favorite picks of the day.
I like that too. Brian Kelly, you just can't trust.
A lot of points.
A lot of points. Makes a ton of sense.
Until it doesn't, but let's hope it does because I think it does.
Well, on the book that I use, it just went up
to
11.5. It had actually died back down to 10.5, and someone put money on LSU, so get it. Boom. I just grabbed it. Boom.
Taking money from a baby there. Let's go.
Joey,
yes,
what
sir.
is your stupid underdog?
My stupid underdog, I'm going to go to the Big Ten, actually, and take Iowa +9 going on the road at Wisconsin. Both offenses aren't pretty to watch always in this one, but maybe we get a little bit today. Maybe Iowa could step up. Battle of 4-1 teams. Give me Iowa +9 in my super underdog.
And your lock?
I'm going to keep this in the Big Ten as Greg Schiano against the Mel Tucker Michigan State team. I'm going to take Rutgers -4.5 at home against the frauds of Michigan State University.
Mel Tucker, man, I told y'all when this started, that whole thing stunk.
Stunk bad.
It's very Trevor Bauer-like. And now, man, I hope they have to pay through the nose. Because I think this whole thing was a setup behind closed doors. I think they were trying to set him up so they could get out of the $80 million they owed him.
Amen to that.
Something dirty. What's the one big thing as you walk us off?
My one big thing, obviously, for my NFL team, Colts, it's a big game tomorrow. Shout out to Tones and Anthony Richardson. When I was at the game last week, I was wearing this jersey you see in front of me, and it's actually signed by Mr. AR-15 himself. Wow. So that was pretty cool. I know he got hurt, so it's Minshew Mania time.
Yeah.
In his revenge game. But thank you to Anthony Richardson. Thank you to Anthony Areola. Thank you, everybody. I hope this jersey goes to stay.
I stuck that jersey so far out, I didn't think my arm would get back into the stadium after that.
Had to fight off some kids.
I'm just in shock that he could actually,
You texted me the same thing last week. You couldn't just compliment me. And that's because of my Phillies comment. I knew why you threw that one at me.
I mean, he went to the University of Florida. I was just I was just proud that he could put his name on something.
Bobby's coming at us both.
He's probably used to signing his signature to all his police warrants. So
He's used to being in the same position as me on Saturdays. Hands up, what size? Have a good one, everybody.
All right, brother. We'll be back in a flash. We come back. Steven will be jumping in. We're going to talk about top 25 action, get into the National Football League, whole hell of a lot more. We'll be back in a flash here on the Armchair Quarterbacks Kickoff Show. Let's get it.
Forget it, Donnie. You're out of your element.
Yeah, I am the walrus.
Shut the Donnie.
Near the In-N-Out Burger. Those are good burgers, Walter. Shut the Donnie. Who's in pajamas, Walter? Shut the Donnie.
It's the best in sports and entertainment, and get locked in and locked down with Rhino Radio Penitentiary, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. with your host, me, Ryan O'Neal, each and every morning, right here with the best in sports and entertainment, all the way from professional sports to college sports to River Dragons hockey and everything in between, including some of the very best local and national guests. It's the Rhino Radio Penitentiary, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Monday through Friday, right here on 99.1 FM WQEE.
You're listening to WQEE 99.1 FM, The Key in Noonan, Georgia, home of Braves Country with Mac Magee and the Armchair Quarterbacks, weekdays, 3 p.m. Eastern to 5 p.m. Eastern, right here on The Key and YouTube.com at Braves Country.
You dumped a porn star? Friendship over!
We live in a world now that welcomes and nurtures the screwball in all of us. Time to get a little nutty. Treat yourself to Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey, a smooth flavor that combines two of America's favorites, peanut butter and American whiskey. So no more social awkwardness. Time to embrace who you truly are. Get out there and make friends. And be sure it starts with Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey. It's available nearly everywhere. Infinium Spirits. Please enjoy responsibly.
When someone asks you if you're a god, you say yes.
Lager, the beer that brought the forest down.
I drive an exotic imported sports car. I eat exotic foreign food like frankfurters and pizza. But when it comes to numbing my mind, I'm a patriot. I drink the beer that brought the forest down. I'm a lager man. And with the new 80-bottle Trump pack, you've got enough for the evening. Hey, it's happy hour somewhere.
Lager brings out the patriot in you.
1786. A fine day. Play ball in the campus, but am beaten, for I miss catching and striking the ball. Princeton College.
Children have hit balls with bats as long as there have been children. But baseball's most direct ancestors were two British games. Rounders, a children's sport brought to New England by the earliest colonists, and cricket, a stately pastime divided into innings and supervised by umpires. By the time of the American Revolution, there were many variations. Boys played one version or another in schoolyards and village greens and on college campuses.
You're listening to Braves Country Baseball on Braves Country HD. Please like and subscribe today, youtube.com/@Braves Country.
I've been buying beer since August, running hot and running cold. And 30 friends are on alert, that's all the den'll hold. 'Cause he's the armchair quarterback, he's full of beer and he's full of snacks. He's the all-American man. Yeah, the armchair quarterback.
Welcome back, and joining us is Stephen Troche, as he does every 11 a.m. hour here on Saturday mornings on the Armchair Quarterbacks. Stephen, how are you?
Man, I'm doing great. Ready for another full weekend of football.
I bet you were glad that that Dion did what he did, so we don't have to talk about what Mario Cristobal did what he did.
Well, I mean, like you just brought it up, so we're talking about it, as I predicted.
One of the best text messages I ever got was shortly after his, "It's time to fire him. You got to fire Mario Cristobal." And then, like the next day, I don't think he fumbled.
I
was like, does it matter? He should have took a knee.
Oh no! I'm still behind the fire Cristobal train. This is the second time he has done this.
That's the craziest thing. I know the first time was in Oregon, so a lot of folks may not know about it or whatever. Right? But that's the craziest part of it. Are you still on the fire him train, or was that just pissed off in the moment stuff?
I know it's not financially feasible, but it's how likely do you think it is that this like Cristobal ends up being a long-term solution at Miami? This kind of sealed his fate. We know it's going to end at some point.
I haven't been
I'd rather
impressed
move
with
on and
anything
just
he's done, if that's what you're asking. Now, what I don't remember is what were the details of his contract? Like, how much longer is he locked in, and what would the buyout be? All that kind of stuff.
I mean, I'm not sure the details either, but I just know he got massive money.
Yeah, see, that's the problem, and he's in what, year 2?
Yeah, it hasn't gotten much better in year 2, even though we have the wins.
So I get the frustration. I just don't know how. What are I don't know what the chances are that they would actually go, all right, it's enough. We've had enough here. Kick him with the curb. Let's pay another buyout, and then let's bring in another guy.
Oh, and I mean, like, what makes it real unreasonable is his father-in-law is on the board. It's part of the reason he got the job in the first place.
Oh, geez, I did not know that part. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So that makes it real sticky no matter how you look at it, because jeez. Any way he can get divorced? Can we do to him what they tried to do to Mel Tucker and get him busted cheating on his wife? And then the dad's like, that's it. We've had enough. Get him out of here.
The only way he is gone is if he turns into
We're not talking about old stuff. That's sticky. Why? Oh, I don't know if I would have agreed to that if I was like the rest of the board. I'd be like, dude, we're not bringing in your son-in-law. What the hell are we doing?
I mean, it was such a crazy situation. But let's start talking about some functional college programs.
Okay, so that eliminates the Gators. Let's talk about. I like giving you a hard time, Bobby.
I can't even fire back. I've been trashing them just as much as you have.
And you're a good sport. And you don't have any idea when they're playing, so that.
Or who they're playing, or what day they're playing.
Are they playing?
I'm clocked out. I'm all focused on the Cardinals, the great Arizona Cardinals.
You're like, I am focused on the 2024 NFL draft and who the Cardinals are drafting.
Yeah. Praying for another Texans loss.
Well, if they move Kyler, especially, they'll have a ton of draft capital.
I don't think we're going to move Kyler, though. I don't think we'll get a high enough pick to take Caleb, and at that point, not much point in moving him.
Yeah, a lot of season left. I agree with you, but that Cardinals team, they could have had a couple more wins to date, I feel like, and let's just say the tank job might already be on down in the desert.
Speaking of Caleb Williams, I saw a quote yesterday from Sean Payton saying Caleb Williams is like one of those generational players that a franchise will end up tanking for to make sure that they get him like to the point where it's going to end up at a lottery system. Look how bad the Broncos are this year. Do we think that it's possible that they're actually tanking to try to get Caleb?
I don't think so. I don't think if they were tanking, they would have come back and won that Bears game. But I do think at some point in the season, they're going to realize they know how bad they are, but it's going to hit that the season's a wash, and they might start easing back on how much they try to win.
Well, what do you do with Russell Wilson, though?
Yeah, because his contract really doesn't kick in until next year.
Beg him to retire.
You still owe him a lot of money if he retires.
Yeah,
I got a funny comeback, but I'll leave that off here. I'll text it to y'all. I got a funny feeling we'd get banged by the powers that be.
You know what it is? Russell's wife doesn't get the limelight like Taylor Swift. That's what's bothering him. That's why he hasn't been playing great. He's got competition in the limelight for his misses now. We got Swiftie all over the screens. I don't think they mentioned, Sierra, since I haven't heard her name in forever.
Not since he was in Seattle, at least.
What is going on? That's exactly what it is. That's what I'm writing it off as, and I'm going to ride with that until I find out otherwise. Even though we played bad last year and Swift wasn't around, but
I think he sucked.
Yeah, I think Denver just sucks in general. I mean, They were bad last year. They had good defense last year, terrible offense. This year they've had okay offense, terrible defense. I think Sean Payton gets exposed a little bit and a little bit every week out there.
I'm as a Cardinals fan, I was praying for Sean Payton, but looking back on it in hindsight, I'm kind of happy with how it ended up.
He just looks, so punchable out there in his Denver attire on the sideline. After those Nathaniel Hackett comments,
yeah,
it's like, learn your role.
And when he was getting all pissy with the reporter about asking questions about the 70-point game by the Dolphins, he's a tool.
Well, mate, you know what him and Belichick are doing? They're making it knowing that guys like Tom Brady and Drew Brees were actually the reason for their success more so.
Yeah.
Instead of their coaching abilities.
I was just about to say that. I mean, the quarterback position is so important.
Yeah.
If any of y'all get a chance, check your phone. I texted y'all my my off-color joke.
Show is going to get us in trouble. Show is going to shut down.
I was honestly expecting it work.
That would do it.
That would do it. That would get you out of the contract. Either that or just see if he can intern with Mel Tucker somewhere. They'll slap something on him. All right, college football before we dive into the NFL real quick. Okay, games that we have not gone over of interest. I'm gonna try to find ones with better point spreads. I think Florida State should cover. I do believe they will. The only question would be they do play Duke next week. Is this a looky-loo? Do they look ahead? Do they not take Syracuse seriously? I think because they played so poorly in the second half of the Virginia Tech game, there's going to be more of a focus this game.
In the Boston College game, I don't think they're going to let themselves get put in another position like that where they could get upset big.
In the second half of that game, and and a lot of fans are pointing to some of the bad calls that they got. Okay, whatever, put that aside. I felt like to me that they took the foot off the gas.
Yeah.
And so they've got to come in focused against Syracuse.
I mean, one thing to keep in mind there on the Syracuse side is they were complete letdown last week against UNC, and they may want to come out this week and try to make a statement that they're not fully.
Or it might have been that might have been the final straw where they're, because remember last year they started off 6-0, and then they started losing, and Dino just lost that locker room. And they couldn't buy a win down the stretch. California, Utah. I did hear a pundit make a good argument that California could stay in the game just because of Utah's offensive woes. And this could be one of those letdown games for Utah. I'm not willing to buy into it because I'm not a believer in Cal, but they do put some points up on the board. So that's an interesting one. Okay, Oregon, Washington. This is the one we got to talk about. Because y'all could talk me into anything right now. Who wins this game? Washington's a 3-point favorite, over under 67. Who wins this game? We'll start with you, Steven.
I'm leaning like Washington. It's just, I think that's just mostly the home field advantage. It's going to be a shootout. There's going to be a lot of points. It's going to be a close game. I think it's just going to end up being whoever has the ball last.
Well, that doesn't help me.
You asked for my opinion.
Yes, I asked for an opinion, not for you to ride the company line. We'll talk about that after you elect me. Right now, I'm not sure where I'm going to vote.
Okay, you want some kind of other take? According to ESPN, Washington is the best offense in the country. Penix is the best quarterback in the country. So there we go. Washington blowout.
All right. At least you stand for something, even if it crumbles underneath you. At least you go, you know what? We're going to fire Cristobal, and Washington's going to score a lot of points. Let's go. Tones, where are you at on this?
I'm a big fan of Washington this season. I was big on them coming into the year. I actually predicted him for my playoffs, my Final Four, and I think the right step to that path is a big win against Oregon today, who has been known to fold time to time in these big-time matchups, just reference back to Georgia game last season, right? So I think Washington and Michael Penix are on a collision course with Pac title game, and I think they get this one today. And I think Penix's draft stock keeps shooting up. I wouldn't be shocked if he keeps winning. He goes into the top 10. I think they cover. I got them winning by 7-10. I'll go with 30. I'll go with 37-30. Washington over Oregon in a shootout.
Bobby?
I'm gonna have Washington winning as well, and have them getting out of here with a one possession win. I trust Penix and Rome more, and they have the home field advantage, like you guys have mentioned. I think they get out of there with a 35-31 win.
I like Oregon in the points. I think this is going to be a nip and tuck game. I think Oregon's defense is better than Washington. I don't necessarily know if they're going to get the win, but 3.5 points, man. If you're going to give me two teams that look to be this evenly matched, I'll take the points in my pocket all day long.
Mm.
One of the things I'm looking at the most on this, other than the tease, is are they going to get to 66.5 points? I think that's a little high. I believe it's there because of the hype. I think what's being undervalued is pace of play with the clock changes this year, along with the fact that Oregon's got a pretty damn good defense.
Mm-hmm.
And for you to hit the 66 points, you better not have any turnovers inside the other team's red zone that resets the field, and you're going, uh-oh, what have I done? But my favorite play on this, y'all ready for this? I got a teaser involved in this game. It's my favorite teaser of the day. Oregon on the tees, along with Pittsburgh on the tees.
Mm.
The Pittsburgh Panthers are at home against the Louisville Cardinals, and there's always an overcorrection to lines when a team has a big win, especially a national win like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're going to go into Pittsburgh. I think it's going to be a sloppy game, and they're getting a touchdown right now. That line might actually get up to 7.5, 8 points by kickoff. That's one of my favorite picks of the day. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to tease it with Oregon because I'd be shocked if Penix and company blow Oregon out of the water.
No.
I might be a little bigger on Oregon than most folks, but Washington has not been tested yet. Not that Oregon's played it like a gauntlet, but Washington hasn't been tested yet, and I'll just be interested to see, especially at 12:30 kickoff. What the hell are they doing?
Mm. Yeah, Pac games should have a nightcap feel to him. I think they should have locked in Friday nights like they did last night for at least one Pac game a week, and then I think Saturday night should just be sprinkled in Pac. And not saying late necessarily, but between 6 to 12 Eastern at night, that's when the Pac really comes in.
Yeah.
When I become your president, one of my first orders of business will be there will be no top 10 matches in college football kicking off while you could still reasonably find a place that's serving brunch.
That's fair.
Thank you, sir. You're a hero.
Is that not reasonable?
I mean, because if you're Mountain Time or Pacific Time, you got some kickoffs starting at 9 or 10.
Right, but I'm talking about this particular game is local time is 12:30.
Mm.
Seattle, Washington, 12:30.
Mm.
Okay, first of all, you're going to make things really difficult on the police. Because the game's going to end 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Then they've got to manage that for the rest of the night. If Washington wins or loses, they got to manage that crap the rest of the night.
That bull junkie.
Yeah, that bull junkie. That bull junkie, like going for it on 4th down twice on the 46 of Stanford in the second half when you go in leading 29-0. That's bull junk.
He coached a bad game yesterday.
He hasn't coached a good game yet. He talked his son and Travis Hunter into going to Colorado, and they've beaten a bunch of nobodies, and then they've done nothing but show their batootie the rest of the way. If you look at their schedule, Colorado, I don't know if they're going to make a bowl game.
They had to win last night. They had to win last night's game, in my opinion.
Let's pull it up real quick. Colorado, for the folks who may have missed it, blew a 29-0 lead at home.
And
a 1-4 team.
They had the ball like with 10 minutes left in the third quarter, kind of marching a little bit up 29-0 too. It's just crazy.
Mm-hmm.
They have 5 games left for those listening on radio, and you can't see the screen.
They're not that good.
At UCLA, Oregon State, home against Arizona, that's winnable.
Mm-hmm.
At Washington State, at Utah. Where does that second win come?
I could maybe see them catching Oregon State at home if they come in sloppy, but I don't see them beating UCLA, Washington State, or Utah, especially on the road.
Well, they better get it by at least 30-0 because obviously they can't hold a 29-point lead at home.
Yeah. I mean, them blowing that lead to Stanford at home, who is awful this season, that doesn't give me much confidence against any ranked team.
Let's not skip past the fact they almost did it against Colorado State. Colorado State almost did the same thing to them.
Yeah, Colorado State nearly had them in overtime.
And so did Arizona State almost did it as well.
And Arizona State's been bad. They were 1-5.
Yeah, people don't. The worst thing about last night might not even be blowing the lead. It's you blew it against one of the worst teams in the country. One of the worst teams in the country.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say this. I watched the second half when I woke up and saw what happened. I was like, I gotta watch this. Made it even better when I found out Mark Jones was the damn play-by-play guy because he loves giving Deion a tongue bath, right? And you should have heard him heading into halftime. You should have heard him in late the fourth quarter. It was like the sky was falling in his world. But watching that game, that receiver that had the 297 yards, I don't have it in front of me right now. It's a tricky last name, whatever it is. That kid, man, that kid's got a second gear that a lot of receivers don't have.
Yeah.
They have him listed as a sophomore, so I don't know if that's a true sophomore or redshirt sophomore, but if he is eligible to come out in the NFL draft and you see him get drafted by your team in the 4th or 5th round, or what, keep an eye on that kid, man. That kid there was separation galore, and he was separating on Travis Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
And his over-under receiving yards yesterday was 43.5. He had none after the first quarter, and I think he ended up with nearly, mid-200s. He had some incredible catches out there. The one where he went over the defender, trapped it against his helmet.
That was over Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
Aya Maynor is his name. Aya Maynor.
Mm-hmm.
From we found out from Canada. He's from Canada. Huh? Canadian football for you. Don't we have someone on the show that's a CFL fan? I feel like we do.
Wouldn't be me.
I feel like somebody was. Maybe there's a previous life.
Maybe Angelo.
No, I think he's got more sense than that. I feel like it's someone. Maybe it was someone who comes in our chats. There's somebody who used to push the CFL narrative. I don't remember who it was. Like, I don't even know when it is.
Crazy narrative.
I can't even keep it straight. I feel like they move it around. It's like the WNBA, and I don't even know when the hell it goes on.
I feel like I'll be at a Chili's at 4:00 and a CFL game will be on or something like that.
Yeah, I feel like in the middle of me like seeing some breaking news, it ends, and then all of a sudden you see a random CFL score.
Honestly, the only time I ever tried to like give it a legit chance when Manziel went over there, I remember I tried to watch a game and it was just awful.
I tried watching it when Doug Flutie played in the CFL. That's how long ago that was.
Next.
Yeah. Danny McManus played in the CFL. I watched him for a little bit. But once again, you could never follow it because even I think ESPN carries it right now.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not consistent. It'll be like tonight, Saturday night, CFL, and then you won't see it for 3 weeks, and it'll go Tuesday morning action, the Eskimos versus like what is going on? And both of them are live.
Go Blue Bombers, Winnipeg Blue Bombers. That's my squad I'm rolling with, baby. Let's go.
I don't remember who McManus played for, but I watched him play. Rocket Ismail was in the league, but I just once you start seeing them like. It's too arena football like they can take off running towards the line of scrimmage, and there's 30 yards to sideline.
It looked like my backyard football days back in the day.
Yeah, it looked like those cheating backyard football days. Like, dude, you went out of bounds. No, man. We said that the tree line was dude. You can't go that far out of the tree line because you have that tree line that would make it like a zigzag.
Then the game just abruptly ends.
There'd be like a random kid who would hide behind a log. The ball gets snatched because I'm open.
That was Joey.
I don't want to know what he's doing behind that log. Bobby, what is your stupid underdog? No, not Bobby.
Not me. I'm not walking off yet.
Tones, what is your stupid underdog?
I felt honored letting Bobby go first here, but I'll step in. I'll be the man in the arena. And this game is not a great one, but the fight and Tony Agolini's are involved. 8:00 Eastern, ESPNU. I got UAB getting 9.5 points on the road against UTSA. UAB's been playing better brand of football lately. They didn't get embarrassed against a couple of bigger teams, and they actually beat the brakes off of South Florida last week. UTSA has been struggling all year. I don't know why the spread's so big, but I love me some UAB getting 9.5 points. Again, 8:00 Eastern on ESPNU.
I like how you keep plugging that like anybody's going to watch.
You never know if there's, if Doug's listening, he throws like $5 on it.
Yeah, Auburn, LSU, USC, Notre Dame, Miami, North Carolina, what else? Missouri, Kentucky, UCLA, Oregon State. But now you have me motivated to go to a local bar at that time and go, hey, could you put the UTSA guy on the big screen?
Yes. Hey, all I know is it'll have screen time.
I got a party at 20 coming in, and we're going to watch this. Piss everybody off, go to the bathroom, sneak out the back door, leave.
Trent Dilfer's family, because he is their head coach nowadays.
There's always that one rando that does that in the middle of football season.
Yep.
Hey, the CFL semifinals are going on right now.
Could you put the ESPYs on, please?
What is your lock?
Oh, well, probably won't be a fan of this one either, but hell, last week I'm never going with New England again. I'll just say that. They're done to me. They're toast to me. I'm cutting them off into oblivion. But give me the Bulls of South Florida laying 2 against Florida Atlantic today. That is on, I'll plug it here again, 3:30 Eastern on ESPN2. But I really like
the Oregon-Washington game. Don't watch Texas A&M, Tennessee.
I will say this real quick. I know it's not the most exciting game, but I really like what Coach Golish has done down there. He was the former offensive coordinator at Tennessee, and USF lost out on Deion Sanders. But I think Coach Golish has been a great consolation prize. They've played fun football this year.
What is your one big thing that happens this weekend?
One big thing is Baker Mayfield in the creamsicle gets a little Baker magic in him. Gene Decker off here. 3-2-1 touchdown Tampa Bay. Mike Evans finds it in the end zone. Bucks win. Bucks win. Bucks win. Fire the cannons in the big sombrero. Bucks take down the Lions to go 4-1 atop of the NFC South.
What's the line in that game?
7.
-3 for the Lions.
It's not big enough. I would take Tampa Bay if it was around 6. I don't know, 3. I don't know.
We'll see. We'll reconvene.
Points good, man.
Look,
if you get that W at home, it's impressive.
Detroit's banged up tomorrow. They're really banged up.
I understand that, but
true.
Detroit's solid. Detroit's.
Yeah.
Oh, I know they're good, but we'll see. We'll see.
Remember, when it's all said and done, you still have Baker Mayfield on your team, so there's that going on.
The best third down passer in all of football this season, Baker Mayfield.
It's a ticking time bomb. You just don't know.
You
ready?
Thank you. That grenade's about to go off.
Just wait. Wait on it.
I think people have been saying that for 4 weeks now. We'll see how long Baker could keep avoiding the haters.
One bad game, and he's going to be blaming the wide receiver one. Going to be blaming the head coach. Get ready.
I think a lot of
for about 5 years. Let's be honest, it ain't 4 weeks. 5 years.
I think a lot of Cleveland Browns ineptness was the problems behind Baker Mayfield. To be fair.
I do think.
Anytime Freddie Kitchens is your head coach, count me out.
I forgot about that.
Or Hugh Jackson. I mean, he had Hugh Jackson. He had Freddie Kitchens. He had Matt Rule. He had a lot of good head coaches.
He had Sean McVay.
And he looked pretty good with McVay.
That 1 week.
Yeah.
Until there was a video on him.
And remember, though, the Rams were decimated at that point last year. Cooper Kupp was out for the year at that point. Allen Robinson, I think, was in a retirement home at that point in time. Cam Akers checked out faster than a bag of chips gets crinkled by a lunchroom. The Rams weren't the Rams last year. But I will say, history proves you guys are right, but I think this is a different Baker Mayfield.
Well, good luck. I don't think Baker wins you the game. I think if you win the game, it's because that defense keeps you in it, and you're able to I think what Baker needs to do is just not lose the damn thing, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Because Detroit is going on the road. They are banged up. All that's true. But if you put it up against it, I would favor Goff over Baker.
Going to be a lot of Lions fans.
And the Sun God is back. The Sun God is back.
Oh, yeah.
That's actually going to be a game I'm actually going to have, like, you know, how you pick your games on your little quad box and stuff. I usually do that.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be one of the games I'll have locked in. All right, brother, we got to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to get you into the National Football League, a little fantasy, and then we're going to do our stupid underdogs, our locks, get you to kick off, rolling towards the top of the hour. Be back in a flash here on Braves Country Radio's Armchair Quarterbacks. We're here every Saturday morning. Let's get it.
Where's the scissors? I got to give this thing some flaves. What are you doing? Crew necks are for squares and Mormons. Oh, cute. Should we do mine? I don't know. If you have no car, why open the garage?
It's the best in sports and entertainment, and get locked in and locked down with Rhino Radio Penitentiary, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. with your host, me, Ryan O'Neill, each and every morning, right here with the best in sports and entertainment, all the way from professional sports to college sports to River Dragons hockey and everything in between, including some of the very best local and national guests. It's the Rhino Radio Penitentiary, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Monday through Fridays, right here on 99.1 FM WQEE.
Are you looking for a reliable dental practice that not only cares about your teeth, but is friendly to work with? How about one that offers great deals and new patient promotions? Well, your search is over. Most Valuable Smiles in downtown Eatonton, Georgia is committed to giving you the biggest and brightest smile. Right now, get a $99 new patient special, including x-rays and exam. Maybe you're looking for veneers. Most Valuable Smiles veneer special includes one free veneer with every 5 purchased. Or get that bright white smile you've always wanted by taking advantage of an exclusive $100 off Zoom whitening treatment when you book today. And don't forget that 2022 is almost over. That means most insurance policies will reset by the new year, and to avoid losing that extra money, you need to use it or lose it. Book an appointment today with Most Valuable Smiles in downtown Eatonton to lock in these exclusive deals. Call 706-623-0318 or visit mostvaluablesmiles.com.
Hey, Braves Country. Braves Country HD is bringing you Braves Country Baseball. Braves Country comes to you every Tuesday night and Friday night, and 2 bonus games every week. Hi, I'm Mac Magee, and we'll be bringing you play-by-play, pitch-by-pitch, your Atlanta Braves. It's free to listen. Please like and subscribe. YouTube.com/@Braves Country. Braves Country Baseball for the fans, by the fans.
Here's good news. There's still a need for hundreds of thousands of cybersecurity professionals in the U.S. right now. And My Computer Career is training people to help meet the demand. No IT experience? No problem. Take the free career evaluation today. Start your new life as an IT pro in as little as 4 months. Grants covering up to 53% of the cost are available to those who qualify. It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
Enjoy sun-drenched days, epic stays, and plenty of room to roam in Greater Fort Lauderdale. Our hotels, attractions, and restaurants have taken the Visit Lauderdale's Safe and Clean pledge, so you can relax and explore with confidence. When you are ready for that well-deserved staycation, our 23 miles of golden beaches await. Find wide-open spaces to hike, bike, kayak, and paddleboard. Visit your favorite attractions, then dine out in style in dining rooms or al fresco on waterfront patios. Learn more at sunny.org.
Braves Country today. We're talking Southern sports. We go live 3 to 5 weekdays right here on WQEE. Braves Country today. Southern sports talk with the voice of Braves Country baseball, Mac Magee. Joined every day from sports analysts from all over Braves Country, talking college football, the NFL, Major League Baseball, and what's trending in the world of sports. Braves Country today. We go live 3 to 5 weekdays right here on WQEE.
It all starts with just one thing. When recycling, rinse out jars and cans, and avoid recycling wax paper or paper soiled with food. This will reduce recycling contamination. Find tips and more at onethingus.com. What's your one thing?
Hey, sports fans, it's Rod Peterson here, host of The Rod Peterson Show, inviting you to join us daily for 2 hours of Atlanta's funnest sports talk right here on WQEE. I say fun because it is. You've never heard a show like it because we make the listeners a part of the show every day between noon and 2 p.m. Eastern. You'll hear plenty of the best sports talk, including the latest on the Falcons, the Braves, and more. And who knows, you might even hear you. That's The Rod Peterson Show, daily at noon, right here on WQEE 99.1 FM.
The beer cans could be worse. She'll clean it up tomorrow and dread September 1st when once again, oh, the season's finally here and the players hit the field. Every man feels like a boy and every wife could kill. He's been fine beer since August.
Welcome back.
And 30 friends are on alert. That's all the dental holds. He's the armchair quarterback. He's full of beer and he's full of snacks.
I don't know why I can't get. Well, it is what it is. All right. I would have thought Bobby would move over to the left column when Tones left, but he didn't. So I don't know what the hell's going on. But anyway,
I'm moving myself around, man. You got me up here. You put me in timeout.
I have no idea what's going on. But we'll try to get it figured out here in a second. I guess I'll have to go to the other version. Would be the easiest way. All right, there we go. Move that bad boy. There we go. We're going into, what is this, week 6?
Yeah, week 6.
Yep.
Man, how time flies when your team sucks.
Yeah.
It's crazy. We're already halfway through the college football regular season.
I don't know how that feels, actually.
You don't know how that feels in
As a
the
Dolphins fan.
Man, those Dolphins look good.
Yeah.
They are I've been surprised. You know what's funny is I heard someone talking about being at the Dolphins game. This is on a podcast the other day. They were at the Dolphins game and they were talking about how in a game in which the Dolphins thoroughly dominated the game, how quiet and depressing that scene was because so many of the fans are still were feeling the effects of the crystal ball, take a knee, don't take a knee thing. I didn't even put that together. I was like, what? I was like, well, I guess it's got to be my time to take it too. I've only done it once this year. Yeah. So, with that being said, dude, they're going to absolutely pound the Panthers. I'm taking Tua. And where is my man Waddle? I know. Geez. You know what? I'm going Waddle just because he's cheaper. I'm going Tua and Waddle. They're going to pound him. I want to take Hill, but I don't want to pay the extra $2,000. So, all right, who's next? Who wants to go next? I don't care.
I mean, I am so happy that you chose the Dolphins stat because I did not want to have to take the Dolphins running game. Like it seems like every single lineup is going to have either Raheem Mostert or Ahmed. This is the best way to kind of get some leverage on that. But like I said, I am going to go get a running back, and kind of going back to a guy that burned me last week, but I think he is still in a great spot. Give me Mr. Bijan Robinson, $7,200 against the Washington Commanders.
Bijan Robinson. All right, I like that one a lot. I would think he's going to have a good game against Washington's defense.
He's due for a rushing touchdown. They're at home. Washington cannot stop the run. Mm-hmm. It's time.
All right, Bobby, where are you going?
Yes, sir. I'm going to go with Minnesota's new wide receiver 2 because of injury. I'm going to go with the guy that Kirk Cousins is very familiar with, KJ Osborne. You can get him at 4,400. I think great budget play. I don't know if he'll outscore Jordan Addison, but you can get him for cheaper. And it's a familiar target for Kirk Cousins, so I think he's going to go to him a lot today.
Yeah, I like that one a lot. Let me go to the – see. Oh, never mind. It's got that questionable tag. I don't like grabbing a guy on Saturday on a questionable tag. So I'm staying. I wanted to go Sam Laporta, but I'm not playing that game.
Yeah.
Let me go to the running back mode. man, I just think they're going to be grinding the ball. Eesh. Where is well, no. I was gonna say Zach Moss, excuse me, but I don't like the fact that they're having to that they upped his ante, because you don't know when Taylor's eventually going to take over, right?
Yeah.
Where do we have Mr. Montgomery?
73.
Yeah, I'm not liking that. I'd like to get a better. Oh, I was like, wait a minute. What? Why is one B Robinson 5,700? I forgot about Brian.
I do that all the time.
Score. Let me see what we got here. You know what? I'll go to the defense and I'll give y'all the so on all these defenses, and I'm going off of what the value is. To give me the Texans. They've been playing good at home, and New Orleans offense does not scare me in the least. 2,900. Give me the Texans. It smells like a pick six.
Okay, I can dig that.
All right, so that's back to Steven, right?
Yes, let me just get that in there.
Easy for me to keep it straight if I do that.
So I think looking at 20,300 left.
Yeah, 20,000. You can average 5, and you've got the defense out of the way, so it's a legitimate 5.
Yeah,
I'm gonna save a little bit more money. I'm gonna go back to that Atlanta game. Filling our tight end spot though, Logan Thomas has been essentially the number 1 receiver for Washington this year. Gets another plus matchup going into Atlanta. They're going to be throwing the ball. I think he's due for another good game. And at 3,500, he does not need to do much to pay off that price tag.
Yeah,
I like
he had a big game last week. Huge game.
I'm actually streaming him in a few leagues just out of necessity.
Yeah, not a bad option. I'm going to go with Christian Kirk then at 5,400. Another receiver off the board. He's been quietly putting up some good numbers. I know he's wide receiver 2 behind Calvin Ridley, but he's been putting up some good numbers over the last few weeks. And if he keeps that up, he'll be well worth the 5,400.
Zay Jones out again this week, so
he
more should see the extra work.
Give me Deontay Foreman, 4,400. I think he's going to get quite a bit of a workload here. That running back room is absolutely banged up. The Minnesota defense is awful, and it gives us a lot of meat on the bone for our flex. Foreman 4,400. I just like the value. I think he's going to find the end zone. So that
looks like I got 7,000 left.
7,000 on the flex.
It's a little bit less than what I was wanting. I was hoping for. Everybody I'm looking at is right above that threshold. But I want to go Mike Evans. He's $100 more. I don't
want get him, and we'll save for the defense.
No, what I really want to do is go up to Sun God at 7,700. I mean, this is I've got a feeling he's going for 35 points.
Okay, so if you take the Sun God at 7,700,
that's just too much.
Oof. Well, you can get the Browns. Cleveland's going to be bad weather.
Oh.
Well, I don't hate it, honestly. I mean, like we've seen that exact matchup be like 10-3
in there. Why not? I could see. Look, the wind's supposed to be coming off the lake. I could see that game being low scoring.
That's fair.
And San Francisco coming off a physical game when they were hyped up for against Dallas. Why not? So there you go.
Trying not to get injured coming out of that. They just want to get out of that game healthy. I can see. Yeah, I like that.
And they're already saying that Deshaun Watson's not going to play, right? So you know they'll play very conservative.
PJ Walker.
Yeah, PJ Walker.
Oh, so they're going to PJ Walker. They're not going DTR again?
Yeah.
Yeah, PJ Walker. Good times up there in freaking Dynamite. He's going to be rocking and rolling against that San Fran defense.
How much is that fully guaranteed for Watson? $230 million?
It was right in that neighborhood. It was between 230, 240. Someone got 246 in that same neighborhood. So I think you're right. I think it was 230, but it's right in that. Oof.
Which contract is worse, him or Russell?
It's him because it's fully guaranteed. The whole damn thing's fully guaranteed.
Yeah. I forgot about that.
And it couldn't happen to a better franchise. All right, let's get back into for those can't see the screen, listen on radio. We went with Tua, Foreman, Bijan, Christian Kirk, Osborne of Minnesota, Waddle, Logan Thomas, the tight end, the Sun God, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and the Cleveland defense that gets us in exactly at the $50K salary cap. So there you have that. All right, let's get back into the world. First of all, any big games in the NFL that y'all want to go over real quick before we get back into college football? This is kind of a slower week.
Week slate. I mean, Lions-Bucks should be a good game. Two solid teams in the NFC. Other than that, I mean, I guess you can look at the Monday night game, Cowboys-Chargers, but pretty weak slate overall for the NFL this week.
Cowboys-Chargers is very intriguing to me. Of course, it's not till Monday, but man, my God. Giants-Bills, that's what we have on Sunday night.
Oh, that's going to be a train wreck. Tyler
if
Taylor.
it keeps going like it has been, it's going to be
Fox has to be doing a dance because they've got game one of the ALCS, Texas versus Houston. And they're like, all right, so New York may not watch us, but the rest of the country is going to watch us.
Honestly, the game, like kind of under the radar game I'm looking at is Cincinnati and Seattle. I mean, like those are two potentially playoff teams.
I think the one that I'm looking forward to the most is probably Colts Jags. Because I believe the Colts are not as good as their 3-2. I think the Jags are better than their 3-2, but I don't know if they're playing to the part right now where they should be considered any bit of a favorite in this game, right?
I mean, the thing to consider though is that they're coming off of that 2-week spell in London. They also have, I think they play coming up on Thursday. So I mean, this is and you have the Gardner Minshew homecoming narrative. It's that line just smells fishy. Yes, the Jaguars are the better team on paper, no question about it.
Well, to me, it smells fishy the fact that they're giving up 4.5. That's a lot in the NFL. It feels more like they're almost wanting you to take the Colts, and then that's where the trick's going to be.
I think they put I said the line at 4 just for raw teaser purposes because 6 points gets you down to 2 instead of the 3.
That's right there in that threshold of what they call critical points, right? Mm-hmm. And so when you get to that 4 threshold, a lot of people will jump on the Colts 4.5 because there's a lot of 4-point games in the NFL, 24-20, 21-17, that kind of stuff. I'm probably staying clear of the whole damn thing, to be honest with you. If I was going to do anything, I'd probably tease the Colts so that I get 10.5, and I'd feel really good about that. And you just got to find another game to. I mean, why not tease the Colts and the Dolphins? They're sitting right there next to each other. Dolphins would only have to win by 8?
I've actually got those 3 games you have. I have Dolphins, Colts, and Texans in a 10-point teaser.
Yeah, but the payback isn't as good, right? Because typically
it's pretty similar to a 6-point. Like if once you get to the 3 to 4 teams.
At 3 on 10, isn't it like around minus 165? Is it somewhere in the neighborhood?
I'm getting more like close to like 140, 130.
You might want to check that because that doesn't sound right. But if you are getting that, then let me know where, because that book doesn't know what they're doing. All right. We'll go back to the college football. Games coming up here. What's the one game you're most excited about, Bobby? Obviously, it's not Florida versus whoever they're playing.
It'll be the Oregon-Washington game. That'll be the game I'm most excited for today. I think this will be a great matchup. Great. I think won't be too high scoring because I trust Oregon's defense. But, man, I'm really excited to watch Penix and company go out there against that Oregon defense. I think it'll be a close game. I got Washington getting it done. But it's my game of the week for sure.
Steven, we haven't even talked about your Miami, North Carolina game. Are you jacked for this or what?
I mean, it does lose some of the shine that both, this is not a battle of undefeateds, but I mean, you're
right back in it. I mean, you're right back in the conversation.
Oh, I know, but that's what I was going to say. Like the past 5 matchups, four of those games have been decided by 3 points or less. Miami has not won any of those matchups, but I think it should be a close game. I mean, like we saw it, like we know both teams can put up points. I do think UNC ends up coming out on top, like because they're in Chapel Hill, but I don't think Miami's going to put up as big of a stinker as people are thinking after last week.
I don't know why Miami stuck around in the rankings, but Missouri fell out of it. I'm kind of confused about that. I know it looked like he was down, but that was inexcusable of a loss.
What was the question again? Why Miami what?
Why Miami stayed in the rankings, but Missouri fell out of it.
I mean, they fell 8 slots.
Yeah.
I think we get fixated on the top 25.
Missouri's probably right on that bubble.
What's the difference between that and the 26, 27? I mean, years ago, they used to do a top 20.
Yeah.
And they expanded to 25 somewhere around the mid-90s, and they honestly did that for television. That's the only reason why they did it, because they wanted more. I'm really surprised that by now we don't have a top 30. I'm really surprised by that. So it's not going to make a big difference because if Miami wins tonight, they're going to get back up around 20th, somewhere in that neighborhood. And if they lose, they'll be gone.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that game. I'm really looking forward to this Missouri-Kentucky game as well. But, man, this is the game for me tonight. UCLA, Oregon State, that is going to be a slobber knocker. These are 2 really good defensive teams. And I'm looking forward to see what UCLA can do on the road. I've got a ticket on them beginning of the season to get to the Pac-12 championship game. And they still got a chance to do that. And I'm just trying to – I'm worried about this game, but I think UCLA can get them.
They need this one if they're going to get to the Pac-12 championship.
What's that?
They need this one if they want to get to the Pac-12 championship.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely, because obviously they still have Southern Cal at the end of the season too. If they lose this one, it would make – they could be sitting there with 2 losses. Southern Cal could either be undefeated. Yeah, they could lose to Notre Dame today, but that's got nothing to do with the Pac-12 championship.
Yeah.
As I say, like, what are you thinking about that game, USC Notre Dame?
Honestly, so my gut tells me Notre Dame because I don't believe in the USC defense at all.
Yeah.
And I feel like they're going to be a fish out of water, literally, because it's going to be raining, it's going to be cold, it's going to be, they're east of the Mississippi. It's going to be a physical game. And is Southern Cal ready for that? My only question would be with Notre Dame is, are they going to, they've got to be banged up. They've got to be, because they play Duke and Louisville on the road.
And Ohio State right before that at home.
And Ohio State right before that. There's bound to be a letdown. I don't think this is where it'll come, but I'm leaning Notre Dame, but I don't know if I believe enough in it to put any extra money on it. All right, stupid underdog picks. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. I'll go first. We talked about this matchup a little bit earlier in the show, and it's what I had as my stupid underdog. I have Auburn plus 11.5 versus Georgia. Or sorry, not versus Georgia, of course not. Versus LSU. If it was versus Georgia, I wouldn't have even considered it. LSU, their defense sucks. Auburn, they hung in there with Georgia a few weeks ago. LSU's defense is just terrible. I'm not too confident in Auburn going out there and getting a win. I'm not banking on that too much. I think it's very possible, but I do think they'll keep it close enough to hang within 11.5 and get me at 3 points at least.
Steven, what is your stupid underdog?
Well, I'm going to challenge Tones for the most useless game to try to have a skin in. Give me Kent State at +7 over Eastern Michigan. Yeah, especially for you, McGee. You have Syracuse FSU to watch at noon. No, turn on Kent State. That's the game to watch.
What's the line?
+7.
Kent State +7. Again, Eastern Michigan. That's who they're playing. Okay. My stupid underdog is, where am I at? I just had it a second ago. I talked about this earlier. I'm just going to take a stab at it. Give me the Cal Bears +9 against Utah. Came really close to picking another game, but I think that'll be my lock instead. All right, so now we go to locks. All right, I'm going to take the lock first since I took the stupid underdog last. Give me, where's the number at? 7. Give me Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh Panthers getting the points at home. I think Louisville's going to be smelling themselves, and they've got a very, very good chance of losing. They'll probably win, but this is going to be a dangerous game for them. Trosh, what is your lock?
I think you mentioned earlier. I'm kind of smelling a pick 6 as well in Houston. Give me the Houston Texans +1.5 over the Saints. I think that line is kind of inflated due to what the Saints did to New England last week, but I don't think people realize how bad Mac Jones and that offense is. Yeah. CJ Stroud and what they're doing down there is a whole different animal.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody's going to look good against Mac Jones and the New England Patriots. Bobby, what is your lock?
I hope Tones isn't still watching because I'm going with Lions -3 versus the Bucs. I think Lions are just a better team. I think the Bucs they have a letdown on the horizon with Baker at quarterback, and I think the Lions are just a much better team. I know they're banged up a little bit, but I trust them a lot more, and I think they'll go on the road and pick up a win.
You're full next week if you're not right.
Yeah, and I hope he's not watching right now because either way, I'll probably get an earful.
Steven, one big thing as we walk it off.
Man, there's just, I don't even know at this point. There's just, this is just going to be some kind. Give me one big thing. USC is actually going to pull off that win in Notre Dame. They're going to overcome it. They're going to prove themselves as a top 10 team and put themselves in playoff contention.
Bobby, what's your one big thing?
In the highest stakes game of the week in the world of college football, I got Washington coming out on top. I think they're going to go in there or at home beat Oregon. I trust Penix. I trust Rome. I trust that offense. Oregon's got a good defense, but ultimately I think Washington gets it done.
My one big thing is this. The Falcons win at home against the Commanders. That coupled with the Buccaneer loss puts the Atlanta Falcons in first place after week 6 of the NFL. What? And 4-2. And if you look at their schedule going forward in the very near future, it's favorable. Get it. Y'all have a great afternoon. Keep it locked in here on WQEE and your other affiliates. And we will see you, not tomorrow. We're taking the day off. We'll be back at it Monday, play-by-play of the ALCS along with Braves Country today. Have a great one, y'all. Oh, by the way, a video is dropping later today about what happened in the Philly Braves series. I wanted to give that a whole thing to itself. So have a great one, y'all. And good luck to your teams unless you're playing the Seminoles. Woo!